I'm going to take a brief drink here in a second.
It's fine.
Because don't worry, like we're going live at 7 and all of a sudden it's like, hold on a sec, nothing works. Ooh.
Wait.
Then the audio doesn't work.
And now we don't have any video.
Now,
okay.
Yeah, there's always something. Anyway, hey Mike.
What's up, Scott?
Thank you, by the way. I've said this before we went online.
Yeah.
For filling in at the last minute.
Of course.
Daryl unfortunately got sick.
Yeah.
And you were kind enough to say, hey, how about instead of working on this, I'm going to sit down and play this.
Play a game I was sort of wishy-washy on whether I was interested in it or not, so now we'll find out.
And now you're sitting here forced into playing it.
In front of a live studio audience. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Great. Well, I'm Scott. If you've watched my channel at all, you might know who I am because I'm the only person ever featured on this channel.
That's Scott.
Except, actually, no, you were kind of featured. I think I said your name once.
You did in the Dune print and play.
Print and play video. Yeah.
That was fun.
You were shooting. That was fun. I would like to do more print and plays.
You should.
I've actually had people ask me if I would do 18xx print and plays.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I still want to do my Spartacus Pokemon retheme. So I'm going to work on. Still working on that.
Pokemon that you know nothing about.
I don't watch Pokemon. I don't have any. I know like Squirtle.
The fact that the first thing you say you do with Pokemon is watch it.
Exactly. I have no idea.
Not play it.
I've proven my point.
Maybe indicative.
I've proven my point.
Anyway, thank you very much for sitting down with this Guilty Land.
Let's do it.
A game that I've been interested in for a bit. I've played it once with my friend Daryl, who was originally, I don't want to say you're second tier, but Daryl was the person that was going to be here.
He played once, so you would have a better... But now the viewers can see it through the eyes of somebody who's never played this game.
Versus an expert like me.
Like you, who's played it once.
One time. Mm-hmm. There's also something I want to get out of the way. First, it's exciting news. Mike Ryan over in the control kitchen. Very exciting. We might have an internet first.
What's that?
Live on stream. I wanted to surprise you guys with it too.
I can't wait.
There might be the world's first live streamed mattress delivery. They've never done that on the internet before.
I hope it actually happens now. I know.
I do say think because I'm supposed to have a mattress delivered between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. today. They have not delivered it.
Wow. So they're waiting until the last minute.
They're waiting until the last minute. So there could be a very exciting interruption here.
Ding dong.
Where you and me need to carry I think it's like an 85-pound mattress.
That sounds great.
In here. So I just want that to be.
Should we unbox it on camera too?
Just forget this game. We're going to unbox a mattress. It's an IKEA mattress, highest quality.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
In the meantime, though, why don't we learn how to play this Guilty Land?
Great.
Because you have no idea.
I have this very basic idea of how the game works.
And I've played it once, and as I said, I'm an expert now.
Okay.
So, in this game, we are, and if Ryan, you want to switch over to the fix this here, and just a little... All right. Sorry about that, Scott. This is me, Scott, from the future. I see you're having some audio issues, and you're trying to resolve those, and in doing so, you forget how to explain to play this Guilty Land. So, I'm going to help you out real quick and show you exactly how the game works. Let's go check it out right now. Okay, so here is this Guilty Land all set up. The map is printed with where the starting counters go, either blank if they are a compromise marker, or with the faction symbol printed on it if it is going to be support for that faction. So over here on this side of the board, you'll have 5 tokens that you'll be placing out in either the Senate or the House of Representatives. Markers for oppression and red compromise start on 10, while blue compromise is on 28, and justice is on 0. In the House of Representatives, place the marker on 7 with the oppression side facing up. This is a double-sided token, and make sure again that oppression is the one that starts face up. Organizational capacity for justice begins at 2, and for oppression at 1. Place the little markers with the M on them off to the side, because those will be used here later on in the game. And these 4 little counters here, place them on the 0, 0, 1, and 0 markers from bottom to top, or the ones that have the little white squares in the upper right corner. Once those are all out, the board is set up. All you have to do is give the oppression player the a positive good card in their reserve, set aside these 4 special event cards, as well as the counter that goes with one of them. And then be sure you give the deck a good shuffle and go ahead and set it off to the side of the board. You're then going to deal out from that deck cards over to the event display section over on the right or left side of the board, depending on what side you're sitting on. You need to deal out cards until both Oppression and Justice have at least 4 in their event display. So dealing out now, we get 1 for Justice, a second 1 for Justice, 1 for Oppression, another 1 for Justice, another 1 for Oppression, and then Justice, 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 Oppression, and Oppression. So now you'll see both sides have at least 4. However, Justice has a few extra. This is fine, and this is actually a sort of common dynamic in the game. The sides will not always be equal. Now, at setup, there is a little bit of a balancing act that goes on here. Not in terms of cards that are out here, but rather a victory point boost to the player that has fewer cards. For every card over 4 that a player has, the other player will get 1 victory point at the start of the game. In this case, Oppression has 4 and Justice has 6, meaning Justice has 2 more than 4. So you can go ahead and give 2 VP to the Oppression player. This is only something you do at the start of the game. You don't do this victory point giveaway whenever one side has more, only at setup. Be sure you've set these purple victory point markers to the side. They'll get used later on in the game, really only to calculate extra victory points over the base 30 that the green markers provide. Go ahead and give each player a number of political will equal to the highest value card in their event display. In this case, it's going to be 4 for Oppression, and it will be 6 for Justice. Then, the player that has more political will, in this case Justice, will choose who takes the first turn. This is true at the start of the game as well as at the start of every turn in the initiative phase. So Justice could either go first in this instance or allow Oppression to go first. If there's ever a tie, Justice breaks that tie. Alright, so now that the game is all set up, why don't we talk about the components of the game and exactly how they look. The counters have 2 sides and are in 2 colors, obviously. They'll either have a symbol of the faction that they are controlled by, or they won't. If they don't have a symbol, that represents them being part of a compromise. They are not completely aligned with either the red or blue side. If they have a symbol, that means they are in support of either Oppression or Justice. This is especially important to differentiate when it comes to calculating Senate seats, which is a major portion of the game. A lot of this game is won and lost with control of the politics over on this section of the board. The House of Representatives broadly tracks if there's more red or blue out on the map, regardless of their exact affiliation. Whereas senators are tracked for compromise on each side as well as support of the faction on each side. Succinctly, compromise senators are easy to sway to the other side, whereas more committed senators are a little more resolute in their choices. The other section of the board to pay attention to is the organizational capacity tracks that each player has. This is what will allow them to get more cards out in the event display, more cards in their reserve, and hang on to more political will, again, the currency of this game, from round to round. Raising your organizational capacity or effectively lowering your opponents is vital to winning the game. Now, the most important piece of this game, and the thing that drives just about every action you do, are these cards. This is a card-driven game, though it is different than many card-driven games out there. Let's go ahead and take a look at this card here for Justice. Starting in the upper left, we have the political will cost. In this case, it's 1. In most instances, to play a card, you will have to spend that amount of political will out of your supply. The name at the top is going to be one of 4 main types of cards, or a 5th type that's kind of a special exception, and I'll touch on that in a moment. In this case, it's a public opinion card. Looking at the bottom of the card, you'll see exactly how it works with this iconography. There are sort of 3 columns here that aren't explicitly divided, but you can sort of draw imaginary lines in your head. The left side is when the card gets played, or I should say where it gets played from, either the events display, the reserve, or as a react card. The center column is what the card does explicitly, in this case, the types of counters it'll flip over. And the right side in the yellow circle is what your opponent will get when you play the card. So for example, if this card is played from the event display, you will be able to flip over a number of counters from the blue compromise side to the justice side equal to the political will cost of the card, and your opponent will get a number of political will equal to the number of regions you do this in. I know it's not crazy intuitive, but if you understand the rules, it does act as a pretty helpful reminder of what that thing does. Now, like I said, there are 4 main types of cards in the game. There's this public opinion card, which we've gone over. There are violence cards. There are law cards. And finally, organization cards. These are the 4 chief types of cards in the game, and while there are many cards that have slight differences, the actual actions they allow you to perform are identical. The difference is going to be in the cost. Succinctly, organization cards let you either increase your organizational capacity or make some sweeping radical changes to the state of the board in terms of the political counters that decorate it. Law will allow you to vote on different issues in the game, one of these 4. Which one you vote on will be named on the card. In this example, it says Fugitive Slave Acts, so that is the issue you'll be contending. Violence is kind of a strange card. It sort of acts as a dud in either your hand in the events display or if it gets placed into your reserve. It can allow you to increase your organizational capacity at a cost to your supporters on the map. Or it can be stuck into your reserve to leave your supporters alone. However, it will then fill up your reserve, which is very limited in space. In general, violence cards are not nice to have around. And public opinion are maybe the most versatile cards in the game. They can be played from several areas, and they can react to things that your opponent is doing to stop them from doing it. They're also the most direct way to gain support out in the map. If played from the reserve, it can exchange your opponent's markers for your own, and if played from the event display, it can flip your compromise markers over to the support side. It's a slow process, but it is the strongest way to slowly gain support in the Senate and in the House, and thus get more support for your faction. Now, the 5th type of card are these special event cards, most of which start outside of the deck. A couple of them will get shuffled in after the first turn, and the others will get shuffled in when special event cards are played. Specifically, the 1840 census and the Pinckney resolutions get put into the deck after the first game turn is over. The other 2 will get placed in when, in the case of the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, when the Mexican War special event is played, and the 1850 census gets played when the 1840 census gets played. Playing any of these will also result in the discard pile being shuffled back into the main deck. There is also a somewhat special type of card called a speech card. Some of the public opinion cards will say speech just below that text. These can be played when voting on something and it is struggling to get through the Senate. I'll explain that when I get to the Senate part of the game, but just know that the speech is like a sub-special type of card. Okay, so this is how a round of this Guilty Land works. First you do the initiative phase, which you skip on the very first turn of the game, but going forward you will always do it. So let's show you how it works. First you have to check and see if any player has fewer cards in their event display than their organizational capacity. Right now, there are 6 cards for justice, and they have an org cap of 2, and there are 4 cards for oppression, and they have an org cap of 1. So neither of them has fewer cards here than they are allowed. But let's say, for instance, justice did not have any of these cards in their display, and oppression maybe was missing those 2. What we would need to do is deal out cards from this deck until both organizational capacities are satisfied by the event display. Here, red has 2 cards and their org cap is 1, so they're still fine. But blue only has 1 card and their org cap is 2, so we'll need to deal some cards out. In this case, we're going to deal from this deck until blue has 2 cards. The first card is for oppression. Even though they are already within their organizational capacity, they will continue to get cards until blue's number is satisfied, which it now is. So in this case, even though oppression has a lower org cap than justice, they ended up with some extra cards. And that's great for oppression and that's not great for justice. Again, an unevenness here is a core tenet of this game. And it's set up while the player with the fewer cards got bonus victory points. That is never the case for the rest of the game. You just have to live with this inequality. Then, each player, just like in setup, will take political will equal to the highest value card in their event display. So it'll be 4 for oppression, and it will as well be 4 for justice. Then, whoever has the most total political will choose who goes first this round. We've got 5, 8, 9, 10 for justice, and we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 for oppression. So justice once again chooses who's going to go first. Next, we're going to move into the tabling phase. This is where one player can declare one of these legal issues to be immune from adjustment this round. Most typically, it's oppression that is able to do this. The way justice can take this ability is if they have more senators than any of the other 3 factions put together. That is blue compromise, red compromise, and oppression. It's unlikely, but it can happen. So let's say oppression decides they don't want tariffs to be messed with this turn. They would flip that marker over to the no pass side. And now the first player takes their turn. Again, justice is opting to go first this turn. They must take at least 1 action on this turn, but may take as many as they are able to either afford or be granted. All right, so justice is going to play this public opinion card from the event display. From the event display, it will allow them to flip a number of blue compromise markers to justice markers. The first thing they do is spend the political will, which is 2. It just goes back to the bank. Then the number of counters they're able to flip is equal to the political will cost of the card, in this case, 2. They can do it in a number of regions equal to their organizational capacity. So in this case, they can flip 2 markers, and they can do that in 2 regions, up to 2 regions. So they could do 2 in 1 or 1 in 2 separate regions. To be clear, it is not 2 markers in 2 regions. It is a total of 2 markers. Let's see, maybe they want to try to take control of New England a little greater. So they're going to choose this 1 region, and they're going to flip both markers there. Now, oppression is going to get political will for that. In this case, they get a number of political will equal to the number of regions where tokens were flipped. Because justice only flipped tokens in this 1 region, oppression is only going to get 1 political will. Had they flipped 1 token here and 1 elsewhere, oppression would have gotten 2 political will. But we're going to keep it at just the 1 for now. Then, this card may either be discarded or put into the reserve of justice. Your reserve is limited in size by your organizational capacity. And it can be difficult to get cards out, so you need to be careful deciding what you want to go in here. However, in my experience, public opinion cards are pretty strong to have in reserve, and so it's usually a good idea to put them there. Now, there's still 8 political will able to be spent by justice if they desire. So they've got a couple of options. Immediately I see, with 6 political will, they could spend 2 to play this card again in their reserve, and then they could spend 6 to purchase a victory point. Both of those are actions, but you don't have an upper limit to the number of actions you can take in a turn. So that would be perfectly fine. Whatever political will they don't spend is going to have to be checked against their organizational capacity. You only keep a number of political will at the end of your turn equal to your org cap. So in this case, if they don't spend any, they'll be discarding 6 of this 8 political will, and that's not good. So why don't we spend some? Let's play this public opinion card again out of our reserve. What that will allow us to do, if you look at the middle section of the bottom area down here, I know it's kind of a mouthful, the reserve action will let us flip red compromise markers into blue compromise markers. Our opponent will get 2 political will for that. Or, if we choose to do that, our opponent could play their react from the public opinion card they have down here to stop us from flipping those markers. The money is still spent, and the opponent will still get the 2 political will. So putting that back here, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to play this card even though our opponent has the option of blocking it. At the very least, that will exhaust their card from play and give them a little bit less to do on their turn. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to play this card from my reserve. That costs me 2 political will, so I'll exchange this 3 for a 1. And then my opponent has the option to block it. And he's going to say, yeah, I'm going to block that. He flips it over. He still gets the 2 political will from me playing the card. And then that is all that action does. If, however, my opponent did not block it, they would still get the 2 political will, and I would still spend the 2 from the card. And then I would be able to flip in a single region a number of red compromise markers equal to the number of face-up public opinion cards in my reserve, including the one I'm playing. So in this case, it would just be this one. I could take one of these, and let's say I'm going to turn, I don't know, this into a blue compromise. I would then immediately update the House of Representatives to represent this change. See, this House of Representatives track is simply a comparison of the number of red markers out here versus the number of blue markers. It doesn't matter what side they're on. At the start of the game, it starts on 7, and every time you flip one, you're going to adjust it by 2, because in this case, red is losing 1, and I'm gaining 1. So if we want to do some quick math here, with this currently sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in favor of oppression, that means they have 5 more markers out here than blue. Adding it up, red has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Presumably then blue should have 25. It's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Look at that, 25. So this is on the red side because they have the majority and they have 5 more than blue. With this card now having been spent, I'll flip it face down. With my other 6 political will, I'm going to go ahead and purchase a single victory point. I now have no more political will and nothing else I'm trying to do this turn, so I will pass. Now the second player would take their turn, and it would go exactly the same as the first player's turn. Once they've done the things they want to do, we will move on to the next phase of the game, which is really just bookkeeping. The first thing we need to do is see if anyone has won. So let's go ahead and talk about the game end conditions. There are 4 of them. In order of importance, the first one is legislative victory. If one player gets 3 of these issues completely on their side, they win the game at the end of that round. For example, if oppression had expansion, anti-federalism, and tariffs all at their far end, they would win the game. The next victory condition is marginalization. If one player has no support out here, they lose. The next 2 are victory point based, and victory point wins favors justice. The first one is if the victory point pool of these green markers gets completely emptied. There are 30 points in here, and so once those are distributed amongst the two players, come the end of that turn, you will play one more full game turn, and then the game ends. In that last turn, you will be distributing these purple markers. At the end of that extra game turn, you will calculate law victory points one more time, and I'll explain what that is in just a second. And then Justice, and only Justice, will get 1 VP for every support they have out on the map. And again, support are the markers that have your faction symbol on them. Oppression does not get VP for this, only Justice. And the final game end condition is if the deck becomes entirely exhausted, meaning all of them have been played and the discard pile is full. You will do the exact same procedure as before. You will score the law VPs one more time, and then you will add victory points for Justice support markers. In either of those two victory point-based end conditions, ties goes to Oppression. Okay, so once you've checked to see if the game has ended, you will then score law VPs. As you'll notice, there are numbers all over this track. At the end of every turn, players will score passive victory points for having pushed the laws in two directions. Note that at the start of the game, Fugitive Slave Acts will be getting 1 VP for Oppression. It does not have a position on this track of 0, so someone will always be getting VP for that. You take this VP from the common green stock. Then, the last thing you'll do in this bookkeeping phase is see if the Senate seats have changed at all. To do this, you're going to go ahead and clear these off of their positions in the track, and then you're going to add up some counters. Each one of these regions has a number in the upper right. That is the number of Senate seats granted by controlling it. Starting with the Midwest and going clockwise, you're going to see which faction gets those seats. What you're looking for is majority control. You're going to be comparing a few different things in this descending order. First, check and see if Justice or Oppression has more markers than all other 3 factions put together. If that is not the case, then add all of the blue markers or all of the red markers and compare them against the other side. If no one has a majority and there's a tie, then, depending on the region, one compromise faction will get all of those Senate seats. In the Upper South, Deep South, and Southwest, if it has entered play, has a tie, then that will go to red compromise. In these 3 other cases, it will go to blue compromise. So let's go ahead and calculate this right now. Starting in the Midwest, we see that there are no support markers for either Justice or Oppression, so we can skip that first check. Then we'll check blue versus red, and we see there are 4 blue markers and only 1 red, meaning blue compromise will get this region. That is worth 6 Senate seats, and so we'll put this on the 6. Okay, so moving on to New England, we see that Justice does have markers. So let's see if they have more than all of the other factions put together. We can see that they have 6 markers. Blue compromise has 2, red compromise has 4, totaling 6. So Justice does not have more than all other factions. Therefore, once again, we're going to check blue versus red, and we see that blue has a majority, giving them the 14 points here from New England. The 6 from the Midwest plus the 14 from New England is going to put blue compromise at 20. Moving here to Mid-Atlantic, we'll see that blue once again has the majority, giving them another 8. In the Upper South, red has the majority, giving red compromise 10. And in the Deep South, where only Oppression has any markers, they will get the 10 points awarded, leaving, once again, Justice at 0. And then we would go ahead and start a new turn. The one thing we didn't do in the initiative phase before was flip over face down cards in the reserve because there weren't any. You're allowed to flip over face-down cards, a number of face-down cards, equal to your organizational capacity. Blue has 2 org cap and they have 1 face-down card, so they're able to flip that over no problem, and it is now available for use again this turn. All right, the last thing in this game that we need to deal with is passing laws. The law cards are maybe the most complicated to deal with. However, they are actually relatively straightforward math once you understand what you're doing. To pass a law, it must get through 2 stages, the House and the Senate. Once that happens, you will adjust this track down here depending on which card you're playing, and then that will be it. For this instance, we're playing a law card that is going to affect Fugitive Slave Acts, which is this track right here. The first thing you do when you play it is pay Political Will. In this case, it costs 4. So Oppression will spend their 4. Then they need to see if it'll get through the House as the first step. This is a simple majority, and this track up here is going to tell you straight up whether or not it's going to pass. Oppression has the majority in the House, and therefore it passes. In doing that, their opponent gets 2 Political Will. Now it must pass the Senate, which is also a simple majority. Looking here, we can see that the blue side has 28 votes from Blue Compromise and 0 votes from Justice Support. Red has 10 votes from Red Compromise and 10 votes from Oppression Support, making the total 20 for Red, 28 for Blue. This would get shot down in the Senate and not go any further. At that point, this can either be discarded by the red player, or they can opt to put it in their reserve, provided they have the space. If they put it in their reserve, they may later play it from their reserve, and it would pass through the House automatically and just go right back to the Senate check. So that could be useful if that player loses control of the House at some point later in the game. They still have the opportunity to pass this. However, there are other options if it fails to get through the Senate. You may play a public opinion card from your reserve to convert all of the opposing compromise faction to your side just for this vote. So, if Oppression played this a positive good card, they would take these 28 votes from Blue Compromise and add them to their 20 votes they already have for a total of 48. They then compare that to the faction support votes that that other player has. In this case, for Justice, it's 0. So it would be 48 to 0, making this law pass with flying colors. And therefore, the Fugitive Slave Act track would go 1 step towards red. If a public opinion card is played to do such a thing, it is then discarded by that player. This also is where speeches come in. Now, where any public opinion card can be used by the acting player to shift votes, a speech card can be used by the non-acting player to switch the opponent's compromise to their side for this vote. This is done after an opponent decides if they're going to use a public opinion card to shift compromise from your side to theirs, and overrides it. You will discard the speech card after using it. So if Oppression played their public opinion card to persuade these blue votes to their side, and Blue had a public opinion card with the speech text on it, they could then play that to turn not only these blue votes back to their side, but also the 10 red votes, making the total now 38 to 10, which would shoot down the Fugitive Slave Acts from passing. In either event, playing a public opinion card from your reserve to persuade the Senate, be it a speech or not, causes the card being played to get discarded. However, let's say this passes. When it does, the opposing player once again gets 2 political will, and as I said before, this goes up 1 step in the track. When this track is moved into another color, certain things will happen for most of them. They're all written out here on the map, so I'm not going to break them down right now, but know that effectively, tariffs reduce your organizational capacity, while Fugitive Slave Acts and anti-federalism flip markers on the board. Expansion doesn't do anything. There are also cards that say any law on them instead of a specific one. These can affect anything in this track. However, Unlike the other cards that can be saved in your reserve if they fail to pass the Senate after passing the House, the Any Law card cannot be saved in the reserve. Another action you can take on your turn is discarding cards from your event display. If you choose to do so, and there is an Any Law in your event display, it must be discarded. As well, the discard action must be the final action you take on your turn. This final action is also the case if you're playing a violence card or an organization card. Additionally, when trying to pass expansion law, you only count your faction's support in the Senate, while your opponent will count theirs and all compromise markers as their votes. You may also not adjust these tracks more than once per turn, so you couldn't pass 3 tariff laws in one shot. Whew, all right, there is the game. That is how everything works. If you feel like you're lost on the rules or anything, Scott, just wait like 2-3 days and you can check out this video and learn how to play. All I ask is please don't try to pass tariffs more than once in a turn. You can't do that. All right, good luck and crush oppression. Okay, so let's go ahead over to this events area, and here's one for justice, one for oppression, another one for oppression, and for justice, another for justice. You know, it's actually coming out really even. I didn't stack this at all this way, but we might end up, look at, oh my goodness, I said it was probable it'd be uneven, and it is right down the middle.
Perfectly even.
Let's see, organization, law, because you have extra laws and you have
I have a violence. Yeah.
Okay, well, this is our hand, as I mentioned before. This is going to be your hand over here, and this is going to be my hand over here.
Okay.
This can grow as the game goes, and it's always going to be dealt out in the same fashion.
Okay.
Where the amount one player has is not always going to be equal to the other player.
Got it.
We're also only going to be bringing those out when our organizational capacity is high enough. So your organizational capacity right now is sitting at a nice cool 1, and mine is at a nice double 2. Mm-hmm. Okay? We are going to only bring these out, bring more of them out, when we are below our org cap.
Okay.
This represents how well we can mobilize, our politics and get stuff done.
The grassroots movement.
Sure, yeah, you could call it that, I guess.
Got it.
In this setup also, if there was a disparity in terms of how many cards one player has versus the other, we would get, the person with fewer cards would get victory points at the start. So they would get a little bit of a boost. Nice. That's not going to happen though because, we're even Stevens. And now we get political will based on the highest value card out here. So your highest value is 3, so you would get 3 political will. So go ahead and take that, and that's these yellow markers. I have a law card of 4, so I'm going to go ahead and collect 4 political will.
I just take a 3.
Sure, if you want.
That's fine.
You might not necessarily spend it all at once, so you can always make change.
I'll make political will change.
Political will change. So
I got change for 3 political will.
I don't carry cash on me, unfortunately. All right. So normally we would do the initiative phase right now. Also, you have this card, remember?
Oh, this is mine. Okay.
You start with that. So you have this hand over here, but you also have this sort of sub-hand over here. It's like an auxiliary hand. These are cards you're not really going to get rid of, for the most part. I think there is a way to get rid of speech, but for the most part, these are going to stay here. Okay. You're also limited to the amount you have here based on your organizational capacity. Okay. So you start with 1 and you have 1 org cap. You can raise this through some cards, and then you can get more out here. But right now you can only have 1 and you start with 1, and it's a good card. So
a positive good.
A positive good.
Scott, sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
But Tom Russell is saying it looks like New England is short some markers.
You're right. I think we slipped those off for some reason. Maybe I forgot to put them there. But thank you for that. Everything else I think looks good. Okay.
Yeah, if we play around, we're gonna get called out immediately.
Oh, most definitely.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
The highest stakes.
That's the reason I want to do this. Because I'm pretty sure I'm playing the game right. Okay. But if I play in front of an audience, they'll correct me if I'm wrong, and then I'll know how to play.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the best way to learn any rulebook.
Right.
Okay, so now we figure out who has the most political will, and that's the one that goes first. Or I'm sorry, that is the one that chooses who goes first.
Got it.
I have 4, you have 3, so
you
I can
choose
choose who goes first.
Got a rascally cat.
I got a cat digging in a box, so if there's a little rustling, it's my cat Lucy. All right, so let's see. Let me take a look here. What cards do I have? I've got organization, public opinion. I will elect to go first.
Okay.
I will make that choice.
Now, is that choice smart? Is that
Well,
you should do
as
that,
an
or?
expert on this game, I know what the right choice is. But because you haven't played before, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to try to, keep it a little easy for you.
Got it.
I'll say the reason I chose this, based off of the vast amount of knowledge I have on playing this game, is I have this public opinion card right now, and I can use it to flip some of my tokens out here.
Okay.
Because if I play it out of the event display, as it shows here, and you can actually look at this on your card too, because it's also a public opinion card.
Got it.
If I play it from the event display, I can flip a number of tokens that are blue compromised to justice, so they can become allied with me. And your card would flip yours from
Got it.
that to that.
How many?
If it was event. Great question, Mike. It is equal to the number of, I think it is the number of the political will cost.
Okay.
Is the number of regions I can do it in. And actually, hang on, I'm blanking. This audio thing has thrown me through a
Don't worry about it. Just play the game.
It is flip compromise markers equal to the political will cost of the card in a number of regions equal to my org cap. So I could flip with this card 2 markers in up to 2 regions.
Okay.
Up to 2 regions. So I think I'm actually going to do exactly that. So I'm going to play this card, taking it, and it's going to go off to the side, potentially. It costs me 2 political will, so I'm going to put that aside. And then I'm going to flip, because it cost me 2, I will flip 2 of these markers in up to 2 regions. And I'm actually going to try to work my way towards control of New England. I was going to say the Midwest, but New England. So by flipping these, you might wonder why would I want to flip these? What is the point of this? It's going to help me gain control of the Senate. So we're going to calculate the Senate, the number of seats in the House of Representatives, and the control of the Senate based on the 4 factions on the board.
Got it.
There are 4 factions. It is justice, blue compromise, oppression, red compromise. If you look over here in the Senate, there are 4 markers. Okay, this one is justice, this one is oppression, and then these are their respective compromised sides. And at the end of a round, we're going to calculate who controls things out here. Okay, so I'm trying to get more control over here because I'm kind of close, so I can pick up seats, and that's going to help me with passing laws.
Got it.
Then, because I only flipped 2 of them in a single region, you'll see on your card here, because again, I'm using this as an example for you. It has this R. Mm-hmm. That means regions, and you get political will when I do stuff, and vice versa. So you're going to get 1 political will because I flipped tokens in 1 region. And the event display for a public opinion card gives you political will equal to the number of regions that I flipped. Then, after I do this, I may discard it, or I can opt to add it to my reserve.
Okay.
And that's how you get cards in your reserve.
You can play it again then.
As a reserve card, which is a bit different. That flips your side to my side.
Yeah. But okay, cool. So it just becomes like a weaker version of it.
It becomes different. Instead of making mine stronger, it's making yours mine.
So not necessarily weaker, but just different.
It's just different.
Okay.
I'll have to do that at some point because you have a bunch of things out here. So I gotta get them shifted to my side.
I mean, I'm feeling good. I think we're gonna press.
I'm good now. I'm gonna hang on to this though. That's all I'm gonna do with my turn. I'm gonna hang on to my 2 political.
So is it my turn now?
So now it will become your turn.
So now I can either play this one out of my reserve, which would then change blue over to red, 2 of them.
Yes.
Or I can buy out of there from the display.
It would flip actually equal to it's equal to the number of cards in your reserve.
So I flip.
So you'd flip 1. Yes.
So that's not great.
In a single region, you would pick 1 of those in this case.
So I want to. What's this number 2 then? This yellow 2.
That is how much political will I get if you do that.
I got it. Okay. So then now you're gonna have to explain to me what these do.
Sure. So you have organization, violence, and then 2 laws. Organization lets you sort of make big shifts out here on the map. You have a couple of options. The first one, the top option, will increase your organizational capacity by 1, and then you will remove this card from the game. So that's where it says increase org, and then I get political will equal to the cost of the card.
Got it.
So in this case, I would get 3 political will. You rip this card up. This is a legacy game. You would rip this, you would shred this card on camera and then throw it away.
This Guilty Land Legacy. Got
Yep, it's coming soon, I'm sure. And then you increase your organizational cap. So that is a surefire way to boost your org, which is good. The other
and
option,
org affects mostly this.
it'll allow you to, because so when you use a card from your reserve, you flip it over.
Okay.
And you refresh it, but you can only refresh a number of cards equal to the organizational cap.
Can you only have a number of cards on your organization?
Yeah. I believe that's correct.
So right now I can't get
Russell
another
can
card
confirm
either, right?
that. I believe that is correct. Tom Russell can confirm that. But I'm pretty sure that's right. So the other thing organizational capacity does is it'll affect how many cards you're going to have out here. Because you're only going to add more cards to the event display when the threshold is below your organizational capacity.
Got it.
So you want to be boosting that so you can put more cards.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the first thing that does. The other option is a little more severe. You in every single region, you flip half of your aligned compromise markers. So if you picked, let's say, Mid-Atlantic, you would flip 4 of these. Okay, you flip them to your size. You just flip them over to oppression,
Okay.
and then the remainder of them become my compromised. So you'd get 4 oppression markers here, and I would get 4 blue compromise markers here, if you chose this region as an example. And then you get victory points equal to your organizational capacity, and the card goes away. And then I get political will. So this can make big shifts, potentially.
And it's probably better to use it because it's half of the color, right? So like,
Yeah, it's half of yours.
so like in this one, we both get more. Okay.
You would
so
get
it
4
just-
oppression, I'd get 4 blue compromise.
Right. Oh, it's the same. Got
Yep.
it. That would be
it'd
two.
be the same.
That
This would be 2 oppression, 2 blue
I'm sorry, I
compromise.
keep knocking this camera.
Oh.
Apologize, everybody. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is that, I mean,
I can explain the other. So I ended there. I can show you these other ones too. So
Okay.
violence is a little tricky. Violence immediately sounds bad for you because it turns your allied markers, so your oppression markers in every region, in every
compromise.
region it flips them to compromise equal to the cost of the card.
sounds bad.
But then it boosts your organizational capacity, and it is I think the only way to get rid of this card out here. So again, you're limited to the number of cards out here based on your organizational capacity.
oh, and so you want to
So
move it
if
out.
you
yeah.
start filling up violence out there and you don't want to use them, they're going to be gumming up your work. So you're not going to be getting new
right,
cards necessarily. You could, because again, we flip over cards in an uneven way, so you could get cards even
Got
though
it.
you have a lot out there. But yeah, so violence will get you org capacity, but then it damages you in other ways.
Got it.
Finally, law is how you pass these things. And that's going to be a numbers game based on your Senate control.
Got it.
You have to pass the House, and then you have to pass the Senate for laws, okay?
Okay.
In order to do that, first you pass the House, and this is a pretty simple numbers game. You have to see if you have the majority in the House. If you have more dudes out here basically than I do, it passes the House, and then I get political will. You then do the same thing in the Senate, and if you have more colored markers out here than I do, then this will go 1 tick in your direction. The law will move 1 direction towards yours, depending on what side you are. I suspect all that.
Very good.
Does that all make sense? I know that was kind of a mouthful.
I'll probably have to come back to this part, but
Sure.
yes. And then the law. So that's the law one, and
Yes.
I thought that was a different phase, but so the law passing part
It's that card.
is this card.
Yes.
Always.
And
Got it.
you'll see they're marked as well. This law here says Fugitive Slave Acts. The other one says Expansion. So they specifically target those.
Got it.
There are some that say all or any law, and then you choose.
Okay. I might have to ask you about that again, but I don't think I want to do that yet.
Sure.
I think what I want
for what it's worth, you don't have control in the house right now.
So I can't even?
It wouldn't go through the house. There are ways to adjust that. This is actually the most complicated action of the game, so there's a lot of like asterisks and exceptions here.
Got it.
But it'll pass the house if you have the majority, and right now you don't.
Okay. So then I cannot affect. I wouldn't be able. Would I? You wouldn't even choose this card. Right?
I'm sorry. I was used to sitting over there. You do have majority. You're red.
Yes.
I'm
okay.
an idiot. I apologize.
No, it's okay. So, but if you didn't,
yeah,
you wouldn't. There's no reason to take the law action unless you want to get rid of it.
Depends on the cards you have. You can use speeches to shift that a little bit, but
okay. And you said
you
speeches can interrupt. Is that right?
It is in this instance that they do. When you try to pass something through the law, to get through the house, I don't think you can do much to affect that. You need to have majority, full stop, I think.
Okay.
And passing the Senate is where stuff like speeches can come into play. If a law passes, the opposing player can react, which is where it says react at the bottom of that speech.
Got it.
You can react with that to use all of their compromised side as yours.
Oh.
And if I might weigh in, you guys.
Please, by all means.
Tom Russell is commenting, and his opinion is that passing a law is probably the best move for oppression to make. And also, as you noted, he doesn't have majority in the Senate, but can pass it by discarding a public opinion card.
Okay, sure. So, right, because you have the majority in the House.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have the majority in the House right now. So you can get it through the House, and there's not a lot I can do about that at the moment.
Got it.
And then it's going to go to the Senate, where the blue has majority because I have 28 right now versus your 20.
Got
right?
it.
So you have 10 here and 10 here. So I would win here. However, if you have a speech, which you do, you may discard it, and it doesn't cost you anything. And it then adds both compromises to your side. So in that case, you would have your 20 plus this 28 because these are compromise votes. So you would then have 38 to go through the Senate. You would lose that card to do so, but it is an option.
Let's do it.
Okay, so you want to play one of those laws then?
I feel like I'm in the lead. I got the power right now.
Sure, you people...
Let's flex our muscles and just push something
Senators, through. Senators aren't sure if they love slavery, but you can convince them that they do.
Let's push it through. Let's whip them.
Your two options are expansion, which does basically nothing,
Okay.
and you have fugitive slave acts. This is actually maybe a good time to talk about these things.
Let's do it.
So they say here, the shorthand here for what each one does. Tariffs reduces the org capacity of the other player.
Okay.
We have this extra little marker here that says it's an M, and you have one as well. This is modified org capacity.
So then,
so my org is actually 2, but if you were to move this, let's say this way,
it would go to 1.
It would actually be 1. Like it's modified to 1.
Got it.
Okay, so that's what tariffs would do, and you don't have those as an option right now, but just so you know for the future. Fugitive slave acts and anti-federalism are very similar. They act toward the other side, basically. So fugitive slave acts affects red markers, I believe. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading upside down.
When moved toward the red and into the red, flip justice markers.
Okay.
When moved towards justice, flip blue.
So sorry, I had it backwards. So fugitive slave acts will either, if it's going towards red side, it's going to flip these to compromised. Okay, so it makes the blue markers a little weaker. If it is going toward the other side, it's the other way.
Okay? And does it flip? How many does it flip, or is that decided?
It is, I believe, all of them.
Oh, damn.
If it goes, if it's affecting that, it's going to hit every single one. Yes. In each region, they are flipped. So it would flip all these to the other side.
That's amazing.
Anti-federalism is the same, but for red markers.
Okay.
Okay.
So I want to move Fugitive Slave Act to red, and I want to move both to red, but that one flips yours. This one stops you from flipping mine. Anti-federalism makes it harder for you to flip mine.
Sure. Well, it doesn't necessarily make it harder for me to flip it.
Oh.
It's as you move it towards blue, yours are going to become.
Oh, so even if I move it this way.
Yeah. If you move this towards red further, these are going to start flipping this way. If you move it towards blue, they're going to flip the other way. Blue is good for me. Red is good for you.
Got it. Okay. And expansion.
And expansion doesn't do anything.
It's just one of the ones you can win with.
It is one of the ones you can win with. It is also a little harder to move because in order to move it, I get all of the compromise on my side.
Okay.
So expansion is very hard. Expansion is very difficult to affect, and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But yes, it is one of the ways to win. There is at least one card in the deck as well that just has you move it up.
Well, let's move. So I want to play this one. So
Okay.
I pay 3.
Yeah. So you would take this Fugitive Slave Act.
Right. Pay 3. Take
Set
it.
it aside. And so let's sit here for just a second.
Okay.
So you're going to play that, and first thing you do is check the house.
I'm good.
This tracks who has the majority right now. You have 7 more than me. Okay. This is a double-sided marker. Right now, you have the most, and if you're wondering how this is calculated, it is counting the colors on each side.
Got it.
And you have 7 more than me. So you have the most there, that passes. In doing so, I get 2 political will. Okay? Because again, kind of a hook of this game is everything you do affects the other side.
Got it.
Typically in the way by giving them political will.
Okay.
Then you need to go to the Senate. In the Senate, blue has majority. We have 28, you have 20. If it stops there, that would not pass, and you could choose to add this card into your reserve if you were able to.
So that's a way to move it into my reserve if
A law card, yeah.
Okay, got it. So that was kind of what I was asking. Why would I pass a law if I couldn't pass it through both?
Sure, because then later, once it's in your reserve, if you go to use it from your reserve, you skip the house because you already passed through the house.
Right.
So then you just go right back to the
Perfect.
Senate. However, you can discard this to take this compromise and count it towards
yours.
yours.
Do that. So discard pile.
Yeah, so in doing that, you discard that card. Doesn't cost you anything else. And then it's going to add this.
And just to clarify, the reason I can discard that is because it's a public opinion
It's because
card?
it's a speech.
Oh, because it's a speech.
Yes.
Got it. And that's the react at the bottom.
And that is, no, that's the react of a public opinion. The speech part is where it says speech at the top.
And that always just gives me your compromise.
That is the time you'd use a speech.
That is what it's for.
Passing through the Senate, a man stands on the floor of the Senate and says,
Convinces all these guys.
hey, I know you're a little leaning their side, but hold on a second, consider this.
But slavery? Okay. Have you ever thought?
You ever thought about it?
You ever thought about buying slaves? Okay.
All right.
So, I passed it. So does it go on my reserve?
So hold on a sec. So you passed it successfully.
Yeah.
And now you will move the, what was this for? That was for Fugitive Slave Act?
Fugitive Slave Act.
You will knock that 1 tick towards red because you're red.
I'm a real monster.
Okay. So it successfully passes. And then I get 2 political will again for that happening. Because I got 2 for going through the...
I'm racking them up.
It's because when people are marginalized and pushed to the side and stuff passes by them, they get antsy. They want to make stuff happen. They want to come back stronger. So that is passed successfully, and then you don't put that in there now. You only do that if it fails going through one of these steps. So now this is
discarded as well.
Yes, and that would also be discarded.
Boink.
Okay, so you spent all your political will. You have 1 political will left, I guess.
I have 1 left.
Yeah. And we actually have to do something over here now.
Okay.
Because when that ticks forward, then what is that? Fugitive Slave. So Fugitive Slave Acts will then have justice markers in every region are flipped to the blue compromise side. So all of these will flip. If you want to help me flip these over, these all get turned over.
I want to help you.
All these people say, justice sounded pretty good, but I'm not so sure anymore. I'm a little confused. He just said so many smart things. So then,
you whipped us good.
Yes, you did. Okay. And so I think that's right. If Tom can confirm, I'm looking here at the rules right now. Oh, you know what? No, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. This number is how many you flip. So undo all that, except for a couple. It's how many you flip in each region.
Yeah, so a while ago he had commented passing that Fugitive Slave Act to the 2 space will flip 2 in each region.
Cool.
So that's those 2. Yeah,
so these 2 that I had turned over before, I have put back.
Now they're back, and
yes,
I flipped 2 there, and there's none anywhere else.
So that's equal to the space.
Perfect. That makes.
So it does make it harder. The more I move it this way,
because I have to work it back.
You got to work it back.
It's more steps back. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So I got a little support here. You turned it back, and you turned a little more over there.
Got it.
Okay, so you have 1 political will left.
I can't use it though because none of the things.
Nothing there
one.
costs 1.
So I'm just gonna hold on to it.
Okie dokie. So then we move into the sort of cleanup phase, where what we're going to do now is do end of turn, the end of turn stuff. So first we see, have either of us won this game?
No.
The answer is no.
I don't believe so.
We have not. Then you score law victory points. So you have 2 points over here because you've moved into this 2 spot. So you will get 2 victory points for that, just passively. So go ahead and take 2 of those green VP.
Bingo.
And set them maybe somewhere over where they can be seen. All right. And then we are going to elect the Senate. And to do that, you count up stuff here. Now, not much of this has changed, but just so we can kind of see how the sausage is made, why don't we do all this right now, even though it's pretty clear what has changed.
Sausage.
So, excuse me, we're going to take all these, set them aside.
Drinking beer while you play games.
It is. You burp.
all the
You
time.
burp all the time. We're going to start up here, and we're going to go clockwise around this way.
Okay.
So the Midwest. The Midwest has neither of us hold any sort of real stake in here. We've got a few compromises on both sides. So this is worth 6 points up here, or six seats. And blue compromise has that.
So they get all 6?
And the way I'm calculating that is the majority versus every other side. Okay, so there are more blue pieces here than there are any other side, all right? So this gets 6 points, okay? New England, there are 4 justice tokens, but there are 8 from other factions, which means I don't hold that majority. The next thing we check is all the blue here versus the red. There are more blue than red, therefore this gets another 14. 6 plus 14 is a nice cool 20, okay? These numbers are gonna look very familiar to you, by the way. Mid-Atlantic, same thing. Don't have it for justice. I have it here for blue. There's 3, 6, 10 versus 8.
So you get all 8.
So this gets 8. Hey, look at that. Exactly where it started the game, at 28.
Mm-hmm.
Upper South, very easy to see. This is going to go 10 towards just red compromise. And Deep South, the only token there is that, so you get 10 there. That leaves 0 for me.
Beautiful Deep South.
Beautiful Deep South.
We can always rely on those guys.
Always count on them for something. Okay, that makes sense how I calculated that. Just basically seeing what each side looks like. And this is where we started the game. At the end of every turn, we're going to recalculate that.
Okay.
Great. And that is the end of turn. Now we start over. We take a look over here. I have 3 cards, you have 3 cards. Neither of those are below our org cap. So that remains as is. If we had cards flipped over, having used them as reserve cards, we could go ahead and flip those over now based on our org cap again.
Okay.
We didn't, so we don't have to.
Okay.
And now we get more political will. So we need to start the initiative phase. We need to award political will based on our highest card out here. Mine is still a 4. Yours is a 3. So I get 4, and you go ahead and collect 3. Based on all that bad stuff you did to me, with passing laws and fugitive slave acts getting shot down,
political will
I have tons of political will.
Yeah.
I've got 10 right now.
And how do you determine who goes first?
Well, the person with the most political will chooses.
Oh, that's right.
So
that's the initiative?
Yeah, that's the initiative. I can go first, or I can let you go first.
Got it.
In this case, we have the same cards. I have a law card for fugitive slave acts. You have a law for expansion. I think I am going to...
You also have a law for expansion.
Oh, I do. You're right. I do have a law for expansion.
You don't have a violence card yet.
I don't. I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm thinking if I go first, I'm probably going to play this organization card because that'll help me flip some stuff back over. Flip half of the aligned markers from my sides. That'd be some here. Tricky. You would get a couple political will for that. It's equal to my org cap. But I would get 2 as well. So what I'm thinking now is I want to start lowering this because these laws are going to be hard for me to pass based on this. And I need to get more support out here. I'm actually going to use this. I'm going to use this reserve card for the reserve option. It's going to cost me 2 political will. I have a bunch, so I'm going to spend 2. And it lets me flip 1 marker in territories, in a single region rather. equal to my face-up cards here.
Okay.
And so I'm going to flip. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to turn this. You can take that back, and I'm going to make it mine. And that is going to exhaust this. Okay. And now that cost me 2. I am then going to spend 2 here on. I think I might do it on this just to boost my organizational capacity a little bit. That's tough because I would like to be able to flip stuff out here. However, it's going to give you quite a bit as well. No, let's do it.
I think Tom's giving you advice in the stream if you want.
No, I can fumble my own way through this. But just out of curiosity,
Yeah, you can look at what it said.
let's see.
Go ahead and read it.
Use the reserve and discard the 2 laws. Sit in the org card until the next turn. But no one tell me he wants to see how I play it. And look at you going against. You cheated. You cheated for me. Mike, you're so sweet.
I know.
Okay, because yes, you can also discard stuff out here. But if you do discard stuff, it has to be the last thing you do on a turn. Same with organization. It's got to be the last thing you do on a turn.
I say cheat
Yeah,
to win.
I mean-
This is politics. You got to cheat to win, so.
I got cheat to win, but I was going to fumble my way right into playing this org card when I
That's
shouldn't.
exactly what he was saying. You would lose the house for the rest of the game.
I would lose the house the rest of the game. Do I go with my heart or do I go with Tom's heart? I don't know.
What does he know? Just do whatever you
I
want.
was getting heart murmurs not that long ago. I don't know if my heart's good.
He doesn't know anything. Go play that card. He has no idea.
Jeez, that's oppression getting in my ear now. There's an angel sitting on my shoulder, Mike.
Hey, I'm here to flip votes and keep slaves. That's all I'm here for.
All right, well,
Cheers to that.
I guess cheers to that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He said you were. I saw the comment. You lose the house for the rest of the game. I was like,
Yeah, I know. I'm
That
looking at
sounds
this house.
pretty
I'm looking
bad.
at this house, and it looks real rough. He said, "Don't tell me," and you told me.
because I don't want you to.
You're just
lose
no.
hard.
You're just trying to sow discord right
true,
now.
actually, yeah.
That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, Louise. I know the first thing I said to you was, "Let's keep moving along and not delay." But now I've got Angel the Devil
I
on my
paid him
shoulder.
off to give bad advice, and then I pretended.
Okay, I'm discarding.
Okay.
I'm taking the discard action as my final action of a turn, so I can't do anything else
Does
after.
that cost anything, or you can just do it?
And you just do it. The thing it costs you is your turn, basically.
Okay.
I cannot discard violence cards, and I cannot discard. I'm sorry, if I discard any law, there are some laws that let you affect any of these.
Got it.
You have to get rid of that if you're discarding anything.
Okay.
So, okay, that's my turn. My turn that I thought up entirely on my own with no outside assistance.
Mm-hmm.
And now, Michael, it's your turn.
Well, we know the game is maybe leaning towards oppression, so I think you needed the help.
I maybe needed the help.
But now what do I do? Tom? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I am going to do that thing. So now I'm trying to remember what you told me I could do.
I spilled beer all over myself.
Nice, good job. So at least we don't have the camera on us, so
Yeah, thank
nobody
God.
knows. You didn't have to say
I
anything.
didn't have to say it.
I can play this organization card. Not play it, but isn't there... I forgot what you said I could do with this, where it can move up my organizational
so there
capacity.
are 2 ways you can play org capacity cards. And if you look at this over here, you can see it's got 2 options. Event display, essentially there are like 3 columns for these cards. The one on the end here is where it gets played from.
Which is there.
The one in the middle is what it does. And the one on the right is what I get, or your opponent gets, in terms of political will.
But that one discards it, whereas this one goes into my reserve, right?
No, the top one removes it from the game full stop. It'll never get reshuffled.
But the bottom one...
The other one, you just discard it like normal, which means when it comes time to reshuffle cards, you will reshuffle that in.
Okay. I'm going to do it to increase org. I don't know if that's a good move.
Okay. Your org is really low.
But I'm going to do it. And my org's low, and I want more org.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
pay 3.
So it costs you 3 political will.
Bingo.
And then I get political will equal to that cost, so I'll just get 3.
Okay, bing bong.
Bing bong.
And then this goes...
And this is shredded. I have an industrial shredder in the back. I'm gonna, after the game's over, I'm going to throw it.
Just give it to Ollie.
Yeah, Oliver, come here and eat this card.
And guys, real quick, I'm
Yes.
seeing that we may need to update the house.
Oh, true.
Current
Yes,
house
yes,
standing
yes.
is
Thank you.
5 for oppression instead of 7.
Yes, thank you. That's correct. So with the house I mentioned before, this is the difference. in seats held. It's basically shorthand, so you don't have to count to see the exact difference. You count just it's just colors.
All the individual
All
colors.
you're doing is colors. So
And we did a couple flips.
we did do a couple flips. So just I guess so we can see the operation again. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 for red
So
versus
it's all of them compromise.
Yep.
Okay.
4, 8, 12,
13.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, and 25. 30 to 25 is a difference of 5 in
Wait.
favor of oppression.
So I lost a couple seats.
You did. You lost a couple
Not
seats, but because I had flipped these. Or I had turned mine, I think, to blue or
Not
something.
good.
I
Not good.
don't remember the detail, but
That was not good.
bad.
Bad. Very bad.
Mhm.
Sad. Okay. So
Failing oppression. Sad failing oppression times.
It's a witch hunt. I'm done, right? I mean, I have only one more political will. I got my organizational capacity up
You
by
did.
discarding that card.
And now you could choose to discard stuff if you don't want it, but you can't get rid of violence that way.
Expansion's not great, right? I mean,
Again, it doesn't do anything for you passively, it doesn't affect the board. And as it stands right now, I think you'd have trouble passing it anyway.
so let's discard.
Who cares about expansion?
Let's discard this.
America first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Scott, really quickly,
Yes, Ryan.
I'm also seeing now from Tom Russell later, political will is now 5, and that, let me see, 1 second. You needed to discard some political will at the end of your turn. That oppression needs to spend all his political will when taking that org action.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't keep this one.
Yeah, I get where exactly? Where I trust that I am wrong, but where did I miss that rule?
I don't know.
Well, we can trust it's right. So you can discard that while I'm looking that up. So to do the org action,
I lose not just the 3 that it costs. I actually just lose all of it, even if I had a bunch. I guess, right?
So you guys, you increased your organization. You formed an organization by increasing the player's org by 1. The card is removed from the game. The opposing player earns political will equal to the cost of the org card. Yes, I see here. It must be the last action you take on your turn. So actually, to do that, you would have had to, I guess, you couldn't discard and play the org.
So let's
Because
just
both have to be the last thing you do on
so
your
let's
turn.
just keep.
So yes.
Let's just keep the law out there.
Yes. And yes, it results in the expenditure of all of your political will, regardless of your org cap.
All right. I'm sure Tom's at home just frustratedly watching us play this game completely incorrectly.
This is a social experiment. How wrongly can we play a game in front of the designer of the game?
until he loses it and
Until he loses
closes
it,
the
yeah.
stream.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't discard.
And I should be at 5.
And I did get my organizational capacity up. I lost all of my political will. House is updated. We're good.
Yeah, because we didn't shift anything around here, right? We did sort of, except it was not. I don't think it would have shifted this at all, because I turned 2 of yours into mine. But that was already in control by me. So, yes, we don't need to update this. We move back into the start. And now we will deal out some cards. Because you're at 2, which is equal to your org cap, but I'm at 1, which is below my org cap.
Okay.
So now we're going to, just like it set up, I'm going to deal out cards here until I am at 2. So in theory, I could deal out 5 oppression cards, and you'll have more stuff to play around with. But we do this until I am at my limit. Okay? So let's see if it's going to be interesting
Come
or not.
on, Frederick.
Sorry, pal.
Oh, man.
That's it. So I'm at
You
2.
failed me.
Sorry, Frederick.
Which makes
Thank you,
sense.
Frederick.
He's against me.
Okay, great. And now we, again, get political will equal to our highest card, which is going to be 3 for each of us.
The will to do politics is great.
Mm-hmm.
At least for you.
And now I still have the most, so I can decide if I want to go first or if I want you to go first.
You are the political party with the mostest.
Yeah. So I have organization still and law for anti-federalism, which won't pass the House still. And I can refresh this as well. You can refresh a number of cards here equal to your org cap.
I don't have any cards.
So you don't, but I do.
Okay.
All right, well, I'll go first again. I'll take the initiative. And these are going to be a bit tricky to do still because I don't have house control. And I'm going to hang on to that. So
Damn right you don't.
I'm gonna go for this again. It's going to cost me 2, and you're going to get 2 for it. And that's just going to let me...
Just pass it to me. Why you gotta throw it over there and make me pick it up?
Sorry, bud. Say, like I'm not your friend, okay? I'm not
Come
on
on,
your
let's
side.
reach across the aisle here.
No, I refuse to.
Bipartisan.
Especially on this issue.
Bipartisanship, please.
All right, so I'm going to flip this over again and just turn 1 from yours to mine.
Convenient.
We're going to keep fighting for New England here.
Refresh it and then use it again.
And then I'm going to hang on to anti-federalism, I think, for now.
Hey
Well,
guys, really
yes.
quickly again, I'm going to interject.
Sure, Ryan, please.
Reading the comments down. Scott needs to flip the card in his reserve back face up.
I did.
Okay.
I picked that up
Gotcha. And then did oppression score for
for loss.
Fugitive Slave Act?
Yes, you should get 2 points for that. There you go.
2 more?
Yeah, every turn. Every turn you get that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is just a slow roll for you.
Game's gonna be over in no time.
Okay, well, I am...
Can't wait to hit you with a cane, too. This is the thing I'm excited about.
Yeah, is that right? Well, I am going to actually... I'm going to leave it as is, because you have that violence card and that law card. You're going to have a hard time passing that law, and so I think you might end up having to play... You don't have to play violence, I guess, but you're going to sooner rather than later, which is going to boost your org cap and therefore get me more cards in a little bit. So
there's nothing else I can do, though. I have to play that.
You have to play
violence
something, yeah.
So... If I can't pass, so if I don't pass the law, I get it here.
Right, because you can pass it through the House, but it's going to get blocked up in the Senate, so you can end up putting it there. Which it will be there for the rest of the game. I don't believe there's any way to get rid of a law card.
Unless I play it. Unless
there.
I get rid of it.
Unless it gets passed.
Unless I pass it.
Yes. But you can't, let's say, discard
I
it.
need more bells. All right, we're doing violence.
Okay. So you're playing violence.
Beat you with a cane.
And that is going to cost you 2.
So I paid the 2.
Yep.
You get the 2.
I will get the 2.
Again, I'm not going to do what you did to me. Make you
But
make you fish for it.
it doesn't go down. It doesn't go down. Yes, it does. Yes, it goes in your reserve. Yes. But it flips over some of your tokens to the middle side. To the not middle side. That's not a term.
So it says, or pay
compromise.
PW to put it in my reserve.
Oh, sure. So yeah, you can get rid of it, or you can pay the political will cost to put it in the reserve.
Again?
Yeah.
What is that? Why would I want it in my reserve?
Because there are these public opinion cards that get stronger the more cards you have in your reserve.
Oh yeah, okay. So what's the good? You're just doing this to get rid of it. I mean, like it's bad for me generally.
In a lot of cases, they seem bad. Yeah, I would say they seem bad, except they add stuff here, which benefits you with public opinion.
I'm going to pay the 2 to keep it, just because I don't know why I wouldn't. I guess.
And then you, in every region, flip a number of cards equal to the political will cost of the card. So
2 in every region.
Tokens in every region get flipped to your compromise side.
2 of them.
2, because that's the cost of the card. So 2 there.
Oh, and 2 here.
Yep.
Ooh, the deep south.
You're too violent. It makes some people reconsider.
They're like, we like slaves, but geez, don't hit them so hard.
Yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately, that is the situation.
I'm joking because it's true.
Mm-hmm. So, then you have 1 political will left.
You can only joke through this theme.
And you boosted this again.
Again?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
When you do that, it boosts your org capacity.
Where would I see that? Like, is that just a known rule that when you play, like, what's the rule that boosts my org capacity? Just so I understand.
I just says here. I don't know if it shows it on the card.
So, like, whenever I play specifically a violence card, I get a boost in org capacity.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, great. I'm just wondering as far as the actual rules.
Actually, I guess I'm looking here. You actually have an option. You could put it in your reserve, or you can flip stuff. It's not both.
Oh.
So
let's just put it in my reserve.
Okay, so then don't flip anything.
And I paid the 2 to put it in my reserve.
Right. You've paid 4 because you paid 2 to play the card, and then you paid 2 to put it there, right?
And then I flip these instead.
Yeah. So don't. Yeah.
So another hot tip from Tom Russell:
Yes.
you either play the card as a poison pill to up your org,
Yep.
or you put it in your reserve where it does not affect your public opinion action.
Yes. Yeah. We just got to that.
Gotcha.
So I'm playing it as I see. So that's the option, is that if you do the poison pill, you get an increase in org. But I didn't.
Right, yes.
So I don't get the increase in org.
That is correct. That is correct.
I don't lose the seats. And now I have a card in my reserve.
Right, so it sort of sits in there, and you're limited to the amount of cards you can have in there, and you're going to have a hard time getting rid of that. In fact, I don't know that you can. And it'll help your political opinion cards played from reserve, but yeah, it's taking up the space.
Do you think I shouldn't have done that?
I don't know. I can't really say. I was hoping you didn't, so that I could potentially get more cards out, but I still will because you used it. So
whatever. I've made my decision.
You've made your choice. Okay, and that was the second thing you did. And also, violence cards also have to be the last thing you do on a turn, which it was. And now we move back into checking out what's going on out here. So some stuff I think got flipped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 29. So something did get flipped out here. So why don't we recalculate that real quick? Stuff was getting moved back and forth, and I don't remember exactly what happened. So it's 6. 14 puts it at 20. This would be another 8, puts it at 28. So I think it's going to be the same. Yeah, it is. Okay. Back to initiative. So now you are below your org cap in cards. So we're going to deal cards till you have 2. Okay? And you have 2.
Nice. No free cards for you.
No free cards for me, unfortunately. And political will. I get 3, you get 4.
Oh, I got the Fugitive Slaves Act. Yeah, definitely. Well, I can't pass it, though. Fuck.
And you get points. You get 2 points as well.
Nice. Keep them coming. All right.
So you get 4 political will. Go ahead and take that. You can make a change.
Political will change.
And now, let's see. You have expansion and Fugitive Slave Acts again. Yeah, I gotta make some shifts here. So if I play organization to flip some of this stuff over, and this gets flipped as well. I feel like right now my situation is with this, I need to whittle away tokens out here so that I can potentially take the house. That is very slow going, so I would like to get another card in here.
So Tom says house should be 3 for oppression now.
Oh, sure. I forgot to calculate that. I apologize.
Flipping the one in any took away a seat from oppression.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom. Once again.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate keeping.
There's a lot of little things to keep track of.
Yeah, there's some. I think it's good to just go through everyone.
You're probably right. I think I'm trying to expedite stuff a little too quickly right now.
And it's hard,
So I'm trying to look ahead too much because I know I need to keep whittling away stuff.
You got to switch your brain off of the video problems.
I know I do.
Into just you're playing the game now.
I know.
Video problems, nothing can be done.
I know, you're right. It can be hard to flip that switch. As I'm sure you know. We work in.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it after this. So.
All right. It's very slow going, but I think potentially I can keep flipping this and knocking this down because I don't see an easy way for you to change that right now.
Yeah, that sucks. You literally have an engine where you can keep knocking my house
It's
down.
very slow. 1, 2, 3. So in a few moves, I'm going to have a majority in the house. So as slow going as it is, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to, once again, pay 2 from my reserve. I'm going to flip 2 from my reserve. And I'm going to, for the 1 card here, flip over. I think I'm just going to keep knocking my way through New England. So there's that. And I'll take this. And that will be, I think, my move.
So do I get the 2 that you paid?
You did, yes. I apologize. I meant to actually give it to you. I meant to be kind and pass it directly to you.
But then you weren't.
I'm just thinking. I'm strategizing here.
I got it. So you're done?
I'm completely finished.
I don't even know what I can do here. That's the problem because I can't pass either of those laws.
So it'll get through the house, and you could add it to your display, but that is also going to limit how much you can put there because you'll be at your org cap.
Right.
And you don't have a speech to play.
I can't play this now, right?
Right, that does not. That only gets played out of the event display.
So I'm
This is
literally,
just-
this is stuck
that
in
is
my
just stuck right
reserve
there.
for the rest of the game.
Yeah, you have to live with your Southern chivalry, as you call it.
So how do I? So I should. So what's the pass move in this game? Like, if
There's discard. You can discard those,
Right,
and then you can
okay.
get new cards out. Because if you get more political, public opinion cards, that lets you shift
what I
these
want.
a little stronger.
So can I discard both of those?
You absolutely can.
Well,
you may
but-
discard any number of cards from there.
Fugitive Slave Act is. If I could push that down again, I'd be rolling in VP.
You'd be getting 3 every turn.
So I think what I'm going to do.
It's basically a timer right now.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I'm slowly acting here,
Right.
but you're accruing VP.
Does the same thing happen in expansion? If you pull that down, you get points.
It is
for that
all
too?
laws, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a fact of law.
You
Is that
can start really racking up points.
You can.
So I'm going to discard expansion.
okay?
I think that's all I'm going to do because I
Sure.
don't know what else I should do right now.
Sure. Yeah, I think controlling what's out here and what's available to you is vital.
Tom's saying you have to discard your PW down to your org capacity at the end of the turn.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Is that? Have we been doing that? Have we not
No.
done
I had missed that.
I don't remember
I
that at all.
apologize. I hadn't been using all mine anyway, but yes.
And it seems like you can spend your political will for
VP?
Yeah, for victory points.
That's right. You
Ooh.
can spend 6, I believe it is.
Yeah, that's what he
Yeah,
said.
it is 6 to do that.
So that's a big
yeah, I did
move,
forget
too.
about that. Yeah.
And the
I think I
house
meant
is-
to be discarding that, and I was thinking as though I didn't have it. But
So can I do that at any time?
It's it's an action. You
Does
can
it end
spend.
your turn?
No.
And the house is now at 1 for oppression.
Yeah, it'll go down when we calculate it again. Or does it get calculated immediately? I thought the house calculations were part of the end of turn.
I don't know.
But I could very well be wrong. Maybe it's just the Senate that switches then. But I think when I had read through the rules before, I interpreted it that way. But I might have very well missed that. But yeah, so you have some VP or
So
some PW.
So I'm gonna buy a VP,
Buying one, okay.
right? And then discard expansion.
Okay, so you're buying a VP and you're discarding expansion
And then now,
At
do
the end
I
of
have to
turn.
discard down to
to your org capacity.
political will?
I think that is right. At the end of turn, at the end of your turn. Yeah. So
House adjustments are
if that could
automatic.
get clarified, yeah,
when
house are automatic.
And
Okay,
he says Senate is end of turn.
got it. Okay, I think I was in my head conflating all this stuff with like
Got it.
Senate stuff.
So
Good to
now
know.
now I've discarded down to 2 because that's my org capacity. I think that's right. And I discarded that, so my turn's over.
Okay, great. Cool. Let's go ahead and do Senate then, which again I don't think changes at all because I have not taken any dominance over here, and the stuff is already controlled by the blue compromise.
Got it.
And so for house numbers, we should be at. If you want to add up yours real fast, just to make sure we're on point here.
$28.
You're at 28. I'm at 27. 12, 16.
Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 28.
Yep.
Okay.
As you said, you were at 28.9?
28.
28. Oh, so we're equal then.
Are you at
Right?
28?
Oh, sorry. So no. I thought you just counted mine for a second. I don't know why I thought that. 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. 27, yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
I've
You
got
were
one
saying
on you.
28 was
I got
screwed,
1
yeah.
on you.
Okay,
I'm losing
Perfect.
my power, but
good.
still
So
getting
I'll
VPs.
refresh that. You get your VP now from here. Your 2.
Dose. Seems to be over before you know it.
I know you're sapping a lot of this out. There's still a good amount left. There's 30 in total. So you're about a third of the way through it. Okay, cards. You need 1,
I need 1. And then
and you
we're...
didn't get it.
Oh, man. Giving you free
You
cards.
doubly didn't get it.
Free cards.
Oh my goodness.
Does that just keep going?
Until both sides are at their count. There you go.
Would you shuffle?
I shuffled
Jeez.
several times.
Okay, good. An organization card seems good. Like, I think I can do something with that.
Yeah, let me see what I have here. I have a few public opinion cards. I'm going to organize these a little.
You got a lot of cards, bro.
I do have quite a few cards now. Okay. Let me see here. Let me see what I've got going on.
So we take our political will, right?
Yeah, so I get 4.
I get 4 as well.
Oh, I got 6 actually. I didn't see that any law.
All right, I got 6 to play with. I'm just gonna buy up. That's what I said, Tom. Who shuffled this deck? Scott, who shuffled it.
I shuffled it so many times.
But he did shuffle before he knew he was going to be justice.
I did. That's true.
So I've got 6. So you go first, right?
I choose who goes first. I'm just taking a look at my cards and thinking what I can do.
Oh, I see. We're waiting because of AP.
Yes, absolutely. I have PWAP right now.
PWAP, I got it.
Whap.
All right.
So,
make your choice, you damn yank.
So I'm thinking here if I want to bring, because I've been taking house control slowly with this card.
Yeah, where's the nuke that card?
If I can stack more here, if I can stack some more of these, that'll allow me to continue making this shift.
I need a public opinion card to come out, and ASAP.
Yeah, so if you can discard public opinion cards from your reserve to persuade, like I said, to persuade the Senate over here. But there's 2 times you can do it. You can do it just as a regular public opinion, but then a speech can be done to override that, basically.
Okay.
So I can say, this. I want to use this to shift it, but if you had a speech, you could. But
you don't need to shift it because you have control of it. So.
Not of the House yet, but of the Senate, yes.
So you can use that to do the House as well?
No. It's just the Senate.
Got it. So that thing doesn't do you any good in that way.
No, but I'm very close to.
Yeah, you're whittling it down.
Yeah. So what I want to do.
Oh, come on, make a decision.
Yeah, I'm gonna play this sucker here first, and that will. Just let me take a look here. This.
So what is that card? Got to talk it out.
It's a public opinion speech. It is a public opinion card that is going to let me flip some of these to my side, and I can then take it into my reserve. And then when I have it in my reserve, I can use this to then get more House seats. So I'm going to play this for 2 to take it from the event display. That is going to let me flip 2 markers in 2 regions. I'm going to flip. Let's go for this one and this one. We'll flip these 2 in this one region. So now you get 1 political will for that, because I only did it in 1 region. Then, as a secondary action, I'm going to exchange this for different denominations. I'm going to spend this from my reserve, and I am going to flip over. Let's do.
So what did you just used one of those though? So
I used this one.
Flip it.
It comes up into your hand in face up. I believe Tom can confirm that, but I'm pretty sure it comes into your face up.
Oh, okay. But if you use that one, you flip it.
And then I'll flip it over if I do that, yeah. So I'm going to take this rather, having used it, and then I'm going to use this for 2, which you get to flip over tokens again. Now I have 2 face-up tokens, so I'm going to flip them over here. I'm sorry, not flip them over, switch them. So you get these.
So you just get to straight up get rid of my dudes.
Using this.
And add your dudes.
That is correct. And that gave me 2 more House seats, which is going to go 0, 1. So now I have the majority.
This is slipping away from me.
And now I could play a law. And if I play a law, it's going to cost me 3 if I do anti-federalism. Because any law is too expensive. And I will pass both of these. So I'm going to play this for 3, this law.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
When can I table a law? Because Tom's hitting me with it. Tom's hitting me with
You're
a tip.
right. We forgot. We skipped over tabling. You get excited about switching stuff around. You miss something. So
He
you can
hit me with
table
a tip that I could table a law, which would determine what you can.
You can table a law. That is accurate.
So
Thank
I
you for
would
that
table
note.
the one
Anti-federalism.
anti-federalism,
flip
so
this
you
over.
can't. Now, when do I get to do that?
It is the start of every turn.
I get to
I haven't had
immediately.
law cards really to play that I could do anything with till now,
Right,
so it didn't really matter. But it is good to remember.
I forgot that was a thing I could do.
It is
and
very
now-
good to remember that. I know I mentioned it earlier, but I forgot it too.
I also learned the rules from that side of the board, so.
It's a very different game from this side of the board.
So now you can't pass that.
Now I cannot pass that, so I can't do anything with anti-federalism.
Bing,
And I
bong.
don't have the money, so put
Outplayed.
that 2 back.
Outplayed because Tom's watching.
Put that 2 back. Okay, that will be the end of my turn then.
Nice, good move.
Yeah.
And the house is now +3 for justice because of the difference, and each loss for one side is a gain for another.
True. You're right. It shifts 2 steps.
Don't thank me. Thank Tom Russell.
Thank you, Tom Russell, and thank you, Ryan Marshall, for keeping an eye on the chat.
You're welcome.
I brought the chat up here because I knew Ryan's not going to give me the hot tips that Tom has, like tabling.
So Mike is cheating now.
like
Oppression
tabling,
cheats.
like, hey, I gave you a tip earlier.
You
all
did,
right?
and now you're cheating for your side too.
Cheat to win. This is politics. All right. So I want to increase my org capacity, or I can do this one. So with this card,
Yep.
let's look at this card closely.
So you can play
I can play it to increase org, and that's
political will. That's the cost of this. That's how much I get.
you get 3.
I'll get 3.
Or I can do it to go half. Is this either or? Half of the red compromise?
It does both. It flips half. You take half in a region, and it will flip half of yours to your better side, and the other half to my weak side, essentially.
That's huge, dude.
It is. They're big shifts. I think it represents like a new political organization or party. I think.
But
It's a
I also
political
want
party
to
forming.
increase my org capacity, you know?
Yeah, I mean that gives you right now. I have a ton of cards to play with.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I need to get some more cards. I don't know which one to do. The only place this is going to really help me is here. Because, like, here, then I'm losing. I think I'm losing more than I'm gaining here. Not that I understand how this game works, really. But I feel like even though I get the 3 that are non-compromise, I'm losing 3 also. Here it would be less bad because I would be gaining 4. What's this laurels right here?
Those little laurels for.
That looks like a VP, right?
Yeah, it's going to be VP related.
So do
for
I
sure.
get VP for doing that?
Let me see. So when you form a political party, yes, you get VP. The acting player scores victory points equal to the current org, and the opposing player earns PW equal to the org capacity or the number of VP scored.
So I would
Same
get
thing.
2.
So you get 2 right now.
That's good. I mean, gathering some VPs not bad either.
Though again, remember, I will get VP for my justice points or justice support.
Why?
At the end, if we're in a position to score VP, I'm going to get points for that. Just as a reminder. I mean, you have quite a few VP right now, but
I'm going to increase my org. So I'm going to pay 3.
okay.
This gets discarded or goes in here.
Gone from the game.
So I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend 3 VP
Okay.
or 3 PW.
3 PW. It's the
Go
last
up
thing you do on your turn.
Go up on my organization.
And it costs you actually all your all.
Oh, that's
of
right.
to,
It cost me all of mine. You
yeah.
get 3.
Yes, I get 3. And that's the last action you do in a turn as well.
But you also lose. You have to go down to 2 anyway,
Yeah, I think I'll drop down to 2
so it doesn't really matter that you
because
get.
I already went. So, all right, and that's your turn. So this is updated properly. Again, I don't. Let's see. It's 5 versus 6 over here, so this doesn't change. I don't think anything else changes here. You will get points now. You will get 2 points for that.
Okay.
So go ahead and collect that. You can flip over this card. I will. And let's give you some cards. Or give me even more.
Please give me some cards.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
I'm getting in over my head here.
Are you kidding me? Come
Here,
on.
I'm just going to do that. All right, does that work? I'm just going to play any of these. Oh boy.
All right, can you
Here
switch to this? Can you switch to this shot? This is insane right here.
Yep, I got got it.
I just want to see this.
Quite a few options.
I want people to see how many cards Scott has.
People like me, all right? I can't, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that people want me to commit acts of violence and pass laws. You're at 3 here.
Can I get a card?
I gave you, you just got 2 more. You got the Mexican War and you got a public opinion. So at the start of this, Mike, when I was giving you a rundown of the types of cards, I said that I said there were 4 types, actually a 5th type. And it is the special event. The special event here is, they're unique. There are a handful of them, though many start out of the game. And there are things that will bring them in. This one is one that will bring one in. When a special event card is played, a specific thing happens, and it says what it is. You can go ahead and read what the Mexican War does.
Mexican War. Cost 6. Move expansion 1 space in the red direction before shuffling in the discard. So then that gives all the discard back into the deck.
The discards go right back in, yes. Not the cards removed.
Right.
But yes.
The Treaty of Guadalupe is added to the deck. So
Okay,
that one.
so Treaty of Guadalupe.
Hidalgo
Here, yep.
would go added back into the deck.
That will be
That's
added to the
if
deck.
I do this.
If you do that, correct.
Justice gains 6 PW when this is played. Weesh.
Yep.
Really gives you. And then
That's just a public opinion
that's
card.
just a public opinion.
Not a
card.
speech, regular public opinion.
Okay. Let's go.
And I won't bother running down all my cards. So
Yeah, yours are dumb.
you get VP again, or not VP. I'm sorry. You get PW.
So I get 6 now.
I also get 6.
Bingo, baby. I like that.
So I have more right now. Looking at the stuff, so if I want you to go first, it's because I'm hoping you're going to play this. Because then I get 6 PW to use on my turn.
The Mexican War.
Yeah, it's going to boost
But
expansion.
why would I do that? I guess because and then expansion goes to red.
Which will
is
get you more
nice.
VP. It also adds Guadalupe into the game, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo.
But that has to come out, which at this rate
Right.
has not done me any favors.
Yeah, who knows?
Tom is also wondering that Pinckney and 1840 should have been shuffled into the deck at the end of turn 1.
Oh, you are. It did not. You're right. I forgot that comes in there. 40 and Pinckney. Yep. Mike, why don't you go ahead and shuffle these?
Thank you. Finally, we'll have some fairness to the fake shuffle news over
Yeah,
here.
it's not like any of those red cards would have come up anyway. Any of those cards would have come up anyway. So I guess some of them are mine. Okay.
So you go first? Still?
I can choose to go first if I desire.
Oh yeah, you choose. You have initiative.
I do have initiative. I have several laws to play. You also get to table a law. I have anti-federalism, tariffs, and then 2 any law cards.
Yeah, so we're gonna table. How much are your any laws? How much do they
6.
cost? I want to make you play those, but you
They
have.
cost a lot.
But you have. What are the ones that are? So you have.
I have anti-federalism and tariffs. Cost me 3.
And 2 any. Ugh.
And 2 any, yeah.
They cost you 3. You could do both of those this turn.
Yeah, and any laws cannot be held. So if I pass the House but not the Senate, I don't get to hold that one for later. Not that I would right now anyway, but any laws are, you go all the way through or you don't go.
Well, I'm going to table anti-federalism.
Okay, so that's
again.
going to stay. Okay. All right. I'm going to actually let you take the initiative this turn.
Wow.
I have a lot of stuff I feel like I can react with,
What a gentleman.
and so I'm going to let you go for it.
What a gentleman. Okay. To use the public opinion law in the way that I used it to pass a law last time, I have to have it in my reserve, correct?
Right. So if you had the public opinion card in your reserve and you got to the Senate stage, you could use it
pass.
to
steal
make
your
my
votes.
compromise go to your side.
Got it.
However, I do have a speech which overrides that, and I'll lose it if I do that.
Will I lose mine?
I think we both lose those, yes.
Can you verify that?
Yeah, I'm taking a look right now. But so let's see. If a speech is played, I discard it, and the player making the speech.
Trust but verify.
Yeah, I understand. I hear you. Yeah, so you choose to use you persuade first, and then that will discard that. Sorry, no, I was looking at the speech. Persuade, you may discard that. Yes, you may discard that card to persuade the opposing faction.
And then you discard
and
yours.
And then I can choose to use this, which I will also discard.
Gets it out of your hand,
it discards,
which is nice.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, this is tough. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to.
I don't know if I'm going to regret not taking the initiative here, but I'm letting you.
I don't think you will. I think you're all right.
We'll figure it out.
All right. I'm going to do that public opinion, so I'm going to pay 2.
Okay. So they're playing the public opinion. That lets you turn. It is a number of markers equal to the cost in a number of regions equal to your org cap, and you can. It's up to that number. So you could do 2 in one region or 1 in 2 regions.
And this goes here.
And then you may put it in there. Yes.
So I'm going to do that.
Okay.
So then I turn 2 from compromise to oppression.
Yep.
In 3 regions.
No. Oh yes, 3. Yes. That's all right. I thought that was 2 still.
Yeah, dude, I've been spending this whole game up in my organizational
Come on,
capacity,
man.
all right?
Don't tell me about your organization. I don't need to hear it. I hear it every day.
3.
And I get PW equal to the number of regions you do stuff in. So if you do 2 of them in 2 regions, I get 2. If you do 2 in 1 region, sorry, let me start that over. If you do 1 in 2 separate regions, I would get 2 political will. If you do 2 in 1 region, I only get 1 political will.
But I'm going to do 2 in 3 regions.
You do 2 total in up to 3 regions.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
I thought I could do 2 in every region.
No, you will flip. You will flip 2 markers.
2 total. Teetotaler. Me, the teetotaler.
Now the advice, the thing that I would see.
Yeah, hook me up with some advice.
Is you don't have any compromise, you don't have any oppression markers here. If you can flip these from compromise to oppression, then if you can get full control over, let's say, the Upper South, I can't take those when it comes to voting. I only take compromise, right? With these, you only take compromise. And so what you want to do, I think, is wrest away control from compromise to you.
So it's less useful for me to, like, lock in these 2 as oppression?
It'll stop me from being able to react and flip these, reserve and flip these. But in my opinion, I think this...
But that doesn't do you any... Well, you get another... Then you're going to keep moving up in the house.
Which, if I'm being honest, there are a lot of places right now I can do that. Just doing it here, I don't know how much that's going to change. And you do what you want. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you how to take your turn.
All right.
It's just, an idea.
Let's see.
I'm sort of figuring out the strategies here as you are.
I want to get control of the house again, but...
Yeah, to do that, you're going to need to take away stuff from me. Which is going to be using this from the reserve.
What if I flip that one
to your oppression side?
Yeah.
If this goes oppression, I think all that's really going to do, and perhaps I'm very wrong, but I think all this is going to do for you is make it so I can't use these public opinions to turn this into mine, which is not bad.
But that doesn't. You still
choices.
get those 6,
right? Because you're still not going to outnumber me.
Yeah. So if I did this one, I'm tempted to look at what Tom Russell wants me to do. I guess I'll do this one. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Should I take the enemy's advice?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I'm your friend. I'm not your enemy.
It's not true.
Justice is your enemy.
And you are justice. The embodiment of justice.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Sorry, buddy.
You're right. You got me.
I think I'm going to do... Yeah, I guess I'll do Upper South. I don't know. I don't know, man.
It's hard.
It doesn't really matter where I do it, because I'm just wresting away Senate votes.
You're going to make it harder if you can control a new region like the Upper South.
But I already control the Upper South.
You don't. Compromise controls the Upper South.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, okay.
And again, playing these cards when you're
No, I
voting
got you. I
only takes
forgot.
compromise.
I forgot that I could gain control over compromise.
Yes.
Which I now have.
We calculate Senate at the end of the turn, but right now you have.
I need one more.
You have 7 versus 8.
So
you
if
need
I do
2
one more,
yeah, one more.
one more, and I get it back. Great.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that, and you get one VP. You get one PW for that.
I do. I get a single.
Sorry that took so long, everybody. And
It's fine. There's a lot to dig into in this game.
Yeah, that's true.
It's funny. It's the kind of thing where initially I'm like, I'm not sure exactly how a lot of this comes together.
Right.
In my first game of this was the same thing.
Right.
As you start digging in, you start to
Right.
see the way the
I
cogs
can't
connect.
pass the fugitive slaves law.
You don't control the house right now, so
So
it wouldn't even
doesn't
pass that.
even move.
Wouldn't even pass the house.
But what I could do
And you can't save it if it doesn't pass the house. It has to at least pass the house for you to be able to stick it in your
to stick
reserve.
it in.
Yep.
But I could do this again, right?
From the reserve.
Could I do the reserve of this?
I think it goes into there face up, not face down. Let me confirm that, but I'm pretty sure it goes into your reserve face up. Let's see. You may put it into your. As long as
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I think I can just play it.
Yeah,
you did it. I mean, you did it.
I used this one. I put this one into my reserve, and then I used this one. But
Well, I'm gonna do it, and then you tell me if I'm wrong.
okay, yeah, Tom. The rule I'm seeing here is it
He
reads,
says I can.
you can put it down and right away use it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that's how it reads to me too.
So I'm gonna do that. Flippy dippy, and then I turn.
And then it goes face down. But what
How many
we'll
of these do I turn? 2.
It is going to be equal to the number of face up cards in here for you, which is 2.
Okay, so I'm gonna do 2 in 2 regions, or 2 in how many regions? 1 region.
You are going to in a single region.
Okay, so then I get to turn over
And
2
I
of
get
your
2
blue ones
PW for that.
to red. So you losing these 2 though doesn't really help me.
No.
More so-
It feels like you probably want to kick me. You want to.
Start to kick you out of these.
Because you already control this. You don't.
Right. So I'm gonna kick
And
you
if
out.
you
of
flip 2 of these, I will lose the Midwest.
I'm gonna kick you out of the Midwest.
Though again, that being said, I do still have my turn. So.
I'm gonna kick you out of the Midwest.
So that is 2 Senate seats I lost. In that function.
2 House seats,
2 House seats that I lost.
and you might lose Senate seats at the end of the
I
turn.
might lose more. Yeah.
Okay, and then my last.
And you gained 2,
Yes.
right?
So then it goes even 2 more down.
So, because totals here, my math is failing me. 3, 6, 9, 10, 15, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, versus 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 27.
So now I have 1.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to get the house back, which
It
is
is
nice.
easy to flip the house back, yeah. It can be, I guess.
I wish I
Once
had-
you start to stack
I
up
wish I
cards
had
here,
more
it seems like
PW to maybe pass that law, but oh well, I have this flipped. I'm gonna get rid of this law. I'm gonna discard this law, and I'm done with my turn.
okay. Okay. So I need the house back, and then I gotta start doing bad business. So I'm going to spend my 2 political will here from the reserve. You can just get that. I had 2 face-up cards. I am going to. Wanna say something?
So just Tom says it's only face-up public opinion cards.
Oh, no. Okay.
So I get
So you
1.
get 1. Cool. So there's that.
I'm sorry, Tom. It might take a little bit for me to. I'm reading them, so just give me a second to.
Cool. So that's
to
another
do it.
2 shifts. So I still have +1 then, right?
Yeah.
So we're from
Still
here
justice
back.
+1.
Okay, that's good actually. That helps me a lot.
Cool.
Because then I can try to pass some laws. Let's see. So anti-federalism is tabled. Fugitive Slave Act. This get moved? It's in the middle here. I don't remember. If
No, it's still at 2.
Okay. I am going to. You have good org cap. I don't want you to get more cards. So I'm going to play this law. This tariffs law.
Okay.
Cost me 3.
If I get those 3, yeah. Or no?
You will potentially get stuff.
Okay.
It depends on how it works out here. You'll get 4. I can see.
Got it.
So passes the House, no problem. I have a majority. Take your 2. Then it hits the Senate, and I have majority in the Senate, 28 versus 20. So it will pass flying colors. You get another 2. Tariffs goes to there, which is going to reduce your org cap by 1.
Son of
Your modified org cap is now 1. Then, let's see. After that, I feel like I got to start pushing for more laws because you're getting a lot of VP. I could buy 1, but I don't think that's enough. I could spend the rest of this to pass any law because I can't do anti-federalism right now anyway. So why don't we try to pass any law? And I am going to try to sap your Fugitive Slave Acts is going to stop how many points you're getting. Let's do it. Let's pass any law. Spending all my money. You're going to get 4 because it's going to pass again. And I'm going to go for tariffs again. That way you're not going to get any cards.
What?
It's hard, buddy. Tariffs, man. Love them. That's what they say about tariffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was my turn. I don't have any more political.
Okay.
I've spent it all. Let's check Senate seats. This is the only thing that got really shifted around.
Right.
And it's still in favor of me. So this is not going to change. We already updated this. Let's move on to the next turn.
Okay.
You get VP. You get
I get 1.
2. And I also get 2. So
I
we
get
each get
2.
2 VP.
All right.
Okay. Great.
Do I have to discard down to what, 0?
You're at org cap of 1.
1. So I discard down to 1
And-
PW.
And you can flip over 1 face down card now, which is what you have.
Okay.
Any notes over there?
But not tariffs because it's already been passed this turn? You can't pass it twice?
Oh, we can't pass the same law twice? Oops. Okay, then I'm going to do... with my any law, I'll pass Fugitive Slave Acts then.
I think. So it's saying... But not tariffs because it's already been passed this turn, so only FSA is available.
Okay.
Not tariffs, not legal, Cthulhu Dreams says.
All right, all right.
Everyone's pissed.
All right, I won't pass tariffs again. Jeez, I thought you were all on the side of justice. Don't you want to be on the right side of history?
And you only discard PW at the end of your personal turn.
Okay. There you go. Cool. So I'm passing anti-federalism then.
Right.
So it does not move. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm passing here then instead. Fugitive Slave Acts. It went from 2 to 1. And it does not move. So what, again, this is upside down. When it moves towards red and into red, do this and flip justice markers. When moved towards justice, flip blue compromise markers. So now we need to flip blue compromise markers over from justice. And you should only have gotten 1 VP that turn then, because I'll have moved that.
Tom says he's not angry, just disappointed. I get it. We're disappointing. Okay, so how many do you flip?
So I moved that from that 2 to that 1.
I don't get the 2 VP I got, right? Because
Correct.
you moved
You
it.
get 1.
So I
You
get 1
instead.
I didn't discard this, so thank you. And
I get my
I think
I get my
more.
1. Which is that? Okay. All right. Great. We're on track here.
So now you got to flip these.
And you're at 2.
Yes. So now you got to flip these.
It's when it goes into blue.
Oh, it did
the
not go
instance
into
the law marker moves into a blue space and toward the blue end of the track, then it flips.
No markers are flipped for FSA here.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom. All right.
Okay. So you get a card,
Please, God,
and
just
you
be the
you can
first
flip
one.
this over as well.
Please just be the first one.
It is, but it's violence.
Thank you. Oh, not good.
Okay.
Not good.
Okay. Great. Let's go ahead and get PW then. I get 6.
I'm trying to remember. So I put the violence in here, and I think we were saying at the time it's like this is a benefit. Oh, I don't get a flip. This is a benefit for. I don't know why I don't get a flip, but the Tom says I don't get a flip. I said no flippy.
Okay.
Why wouldn't I get a
So it
flip?
looks like because you have org cap
2.
enough to flip.
Maybe he'll tell me why.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't get a
we can
flip.
flip it over in a minute. What were you saying about?
So I took the violence into my hands, into my hand, or into my reserve, and that benefits public opinion in some way. Public opinion cards in some
No,
way.
it just gets stuck in here.
But was there the reason you want?
We were mistaken that putting it in there, because public opinion, we were saying any face-up cards here benefited public opinion, but violence does not. It was because we were corrected before that it's just other public opinion
Oh,
cards.
so I shouldn't have put this in here, but whatever. Now I'm stuck with it. All right. So I get 6. You get. I'm going to take my 6 political will.
Correct. And then justice breaks ties.
Oh, I can flip the card, not the marker. Okay, so
Yeah.
it says no markers for FSA, which we decided.
Correct. We figured that.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Slow, but sure. And I take my 6 because my card is 6. My
Yep,
special
that's
event.
what I also took.
And I have more than you. So now I finally
You
have
do. You have initiative.
initiative.
If you want it.
Might be better to respond to what you're doing than to. Yeah, okay.
Oh, I see what was losing me on that. The player A just says cards that are face up.
Got it.
But yes, the rules say
Public opinion card.
opinion cards.
Okay, so reserve. So I can play this from the reserve. I'm going to flip some blues to some reds.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make that so you can't pass anything next turn? I don't know, because you can always flip them back, basically, right?
I'll have to be able to spend PW to do so, which I have.
But then I'm forcing you to do it instead of passing more laws.
right?
That's
Are
not
you going
bad.
to table a different issue, or are you going to keep it with anti-federal?
Oh yeah, let's table. Let's table tariffs because God, you just need to stop.
Now,
You
for
have
what
a-
it's worth,
you have an any law?
This I do. It would cost me all of my PW to do that.
What's the other one you have?
Anti-federalism.
All right, so I'm going to keep it on anti-federalism and make you pay the 6 to do something, and then I'm going to do this. So I'm going to pay the 2, right?
Correct.
And then I'm going to flip some blues to some reds.
Yep, and it is equal to your org cap, which is right now 2.
2, and in one place.
It is in 2 regions, and it is as the number of counters equal to the cost. So,
So
2
2 regions.
counters in up to 2 regions, but only 2 counters in
All
total.
right. I'm going to do these 2. Take back the Midwest.
Okay. So I lose 2, you gain 2.
Take back the Midwest here.
Okay. Continue on.
Okay. And then could play the Mexican War, but then you're going to get
Could.
an F load of PW. But then I'm going to get an extra point on expansion. You can read it, go ahead.
Oh, it's the number of face-up PO. Sorry, just 1 counter. That was my bad. I pointed at political will. You only get to flip 1.
Can we get through doing one thing without being corrected by Tom? Is it possible? Okay, so I'm going to then play. God, I feel like the Mexican War is a bad move right now. And I can't discard violence, right?
You cannot. No.
God damn these violence cards. With Mexican War, you get 6. You have enough to pass any law. And? No, not right now. You don't have enough. But you can't move anti-federalism, which is nice.
That's correct.
But I'm not getting any more VP now. Right? Because you undid my anti-federalism.
Oh, sorry. Say that again?
I'm still getting a VP for this.
You are, yeah. Yeah, you get a VP from that. I'm getting one from tariffs.
But you undid my anti-federalism VP. No, you didn't.
No, I
you
undid.
did tariffs.
I
You
undid.
just added
Yeah.
the tariffs. Yeah. I was getting 2 at one point.
From
though.
Fugitive Slave Acts.
Oh, you undid fusion save.
Yeah. Yep.
Got it. Okay. I am going to do something stupid. And I'm going to play that special event.
Okay. Yeah.
It's very dumb. I think it's the wrong move. But I'm going to do it anyway. All right. So I move expansion 1 space for me. Bing. Add the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo to the deck.
Yep.
And then shuffle in the discards. Or no, before shuffling in the discards, add the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo to the deck. Does that mean we shuffle them now?
Yeah, we'll play that card and then we shuffle.
But it specifically says before shuffling.
You're right, yeah, because you add Guadalupe, which I just did. So here's our discards, and I stuck Guadalupe Hidalgo in there.
Okay.
It is then going to get shuffled back into here.
Okay.
You were chastising my shuffling earlier, Michael?
And this is still discard? Is this doesn't get put back in,
I think
right?
that remains discard. There is a special event that does get put right back in, but I don't believe it is that one.
So you take 6 for that.
Correct, I do.
You're loaded.
Tons of money. Yeah, it's the census that gets added before you shuffle.
And then I don't have enough VP. I don't have enough points to buy VP, which I would have done, but I don't. And so I discard down to 2 PW, and my turn's
Right,
over.
2 of 2. Okay. And then you moved expansion. Yes, you did.
I did it. Now I'm going to get 2 again,
Yes, you will.
unless you
Yes, you
start passing the longs, which it sounds like
So I have a bunch of money
you're
now.
probably going to do.
I gotta get the house back, though. Which I can. Because you're gonna take control of that.
Tom says all special events cards get discarded when they happen.
Sure, the census says before shuffling into the discards, add the 1850 census to the deck.
Oh, okay. Well, there are 2 census cards.
Yeah.
This is the 1840 census.
Yeah, and the other one is.
So it's a
is
different
there.
one.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. All right. I am going to play this again to flip over some more compromise markers. So here's your 2 for me playing that.
Thanks.
No problem, buddy. And I will flip over. I think I'm probably trying to swing the Midwest back in my favor, but I think if I remember right, you can't flip over stuff again on the same turn. I think it's a once per. I don't know that I can flip these back over because they've been flipped this turn. I might be making.
How do you
that
keep a mark? How do you remember that?
I just remember it, but I could be mistaken. I feel like I read that. All right.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and play this as I did before to flip over to. I'm playing this one instead. I already put my 2 over there to you. 3, 4. I'm playing a higher law address, discarding it.
Tom says you can flip them.
Okay, cool. Playing this first though, and that's going to flip over. I'm going to do this one, this one.
Laws can only be passed once.
That's what I was mixing up. Those 2 in there, I can do it in another region if I desire, which I will. I gave you 2 PW, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I discarded down to 2, and then now I have 4.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to do 2 regions, so you can keep that 2. And I'm also going to flip over to here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I flip 2 here and 2 here to my favor. You got your 4. I spent my 4. And then I will play this. 2, this is going to cost me 2, which you get 2 for. And I'll flip these back to my favor.
Bing, bong.
It's gonna go
Bing, bong, bing.
1, 2, 3, 4 up to here. And then I am going to, you killed anti-federalism. All right, I'm gonna pass on any law then, because I don't see anything you can really do about it right now. So there's 6
There's nothing
spent,
there's nothing I can do about it.
which is -2 here. So I have 2 political will left. Any law, I am going to push Fugitive Slave Acts. Actually, I'm going to do what I tried to do before. Tariffs, down to 2.
Tariffs again.
Yep. You're getting knocked down.
You're a son of a bee.
And
And I hate you.
that is discarded. You get 4 political will for that.
Oh, whoopity-doo.
Here's 2, here's 4. I'm trying to help you out with a little bit.
So now I have to discard one of these. When do I discard one of these? Because now my organizational capacity is below the amount of cards I have in my hand.
Low. I believe it is at the end of your turn, but it might be immediately. I'm taking a look right now.
Immediately.
Let's see. Or do you hang on to them? We didn't run into that in our last game. Tariffs wasn't super popular. Tabling. Public opinion actions. Well, we can come to that in a sec. Let's move forward, and I'll figure it out as we're doing stuff. When you discard those.
He says you don't discard
Okay,
them.
so you just can't add more, but you never go down.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Cool. Great. So that was my turn. I have 2 left. I guess I actually do another public opinion. I will. I'll spend my 2 here to play this public opinion card, and I'm going to flip over. Let's start to wrest control of the Midwest.
No.
2, and I guess I'm just doing it here, so you get your 1 for that.
Thank you.
Okay, and that's it.
Okay.
So let's go ahead. And check this, actually. I was getting ready to deal more cards.
So I'll count mine. You can't use.
Well, actually, we need to change some other stuff here because I'm going to gain control of some places. So let's re-add these up. So Midwest, this goes to compromise at 6. New England, however, is going to go to me because I have 8 and there's only 4 total for the other factions. So I go up to 14. Then for Mid-Atlantic, it is still going to remain in favor of compromise at a +8. That's 14. And then Upper South, 3, 6, 7 versus 8. That is still here. You still have that. Okay, so I've gained control of some Senate seats personally now. Took them from the compromise side, brought people to my beliefs. And I'm going to flip this over for my org cap. I don't have any political will. Don't have to go down. We get VP. I get 2. And you get your 1.
2.
2, you're right. 1 from Fugitive Slaves and 1 from Expansion.
There's not much left.
No, we're running real low on VP here.
Okay.
6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 left.
I get. Oh, then I get 3.
And no, we have to. No, we don't draw cards out because you're at your modified order.
I'm at my modified order.
Yep.
I get 3. You get a bunch.
3.
No, just 3.
3 as well.
Okay, and I get to choose to go first.
You do, yes.
The score presently, Tom, is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
2, 3.
14 for the oppression, 3 to the justice.
Yes, though if this runs down, depending on how it goes, I would get another 18 points.
Okay, and now. So if I go first, I gotta do something here. I mean,
Yeah.
I got my modified org killing me, and I can't even get anything in here because I got violence.
Yes.
I can't pass any laws because I don't have any control. I flip this,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, you'll get that back because you have 1 org cap.
So I can start to wrest control back, but you can wrest it right back from me. This is,
It feels like I'm in a very strong position right now.
yeah, but I have a lot of VP. I've built up a lot of
You have a lot
VP
of VP.
already. So
And you can start with your public opinion card, flipping some of these to your side.
right.
Because right now, in theory, if the game ended now, you have how many points was it? 13, 14? 14?
Mm-hmm.
And I would get, I think I said 18. 4, 8, 14, 15, 16 points.
What
Plus
what
these,
laws
so-
do you have out now? Anti-federalism.
Anti-federalism is it.
Is it?
It's all I've got.
So I'm going to leave
Yeah.
the no pass on that because now you can't touch it. Okay. Tom's giving me a hot tip, and I might
Okay.
take it.
Okay, sure.
He says buying VP might be my best move right now.
Yeah, so I was sort of thinking that too, because if you have a bunch of stuff, you have a bunch of political will and not a lot of options as far as cards go.
Right.
We are relatively close on VP right now. I'm winning because I will. If we get to a VP calculating finish, I'll add all of my support, which will exceed you. But if you buy a bunch, then you wouldn't. Then all you really have to do is stonewall me from any of the auto victories.
Okay.
That's how I'm kind of seeing it right now.
So if I do 2.
How much can you buy right now anyway?
Right now I can buy 1, 2.
Cool. So you can buy 2.
And I can play this public opinion.
Okay.
Or I could. No, I can't get rid of the violence. I don't have enough VP.
If you buy stuff, yeah.
So I'm going to buy 2 victory points for 12. Russell's giving me so much advice. Thank you, Tom. He's going to help me win this game.
Oh my gosh.
He says if I leave this up, I can
You can react with it.
react with it, even if it's not a speech.
Yeah, the react action. Yeah.
So how does that work?
If I go
don't think
to
I've
flip
done it
stuff,
yet.
I don't think either of us have. If I go to flip stuff with this, with my reserve action,
Yeah.
you can use that to react and cancel out that flip.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What do I have to pay for it though? I probably have to pay for it. react it?
I think you do to react. No, without any PW cost. No PW cost in a single
So I get
region,
to.
flip
So I
a
get
looking for
that basically saves me this
you go,
PW.
stop. Yeah.
Well, I would have to discard down to 1 anyway, but I would keep 1
Sure.
instead of playing.
Something.
All right, I'm done.
So you just bought VP?
I just bought 2
And
VP,
then stopped.
and
Okay.
I'm holding still.
Okay, so yeah, so if I play this, you can react and cancel it, and then I can use this to flip something else.
4, 6, 8, 12.
So I'm still in a position to pass laws. I have a speech that could go to that out. But anti-federalism is all I've got, and you have tabled that issue.
Yeah, so nice try.
I'm trying.
No more
trying.
tariffs to make me have 0 cards? Is that
Well, I'm
Would I be
playing-
down to 0? I can't go below 1, right?
I think you can get below 1. I think you get to 0. I think
There's no 0 marker on
there's
here.
no 0 marker, but I think if you, yeah, I don't know. In any event, I am going to play. I'm playing. It bends towards justice, for 1. As the event display, obviously.
Can I get 1?
You will get. I guess it will be 1 because I can only do stuff in A region, I guess. So I am going to go ahead and flip in 1 region. Let's do this guy. Actually, no, let's do this one.
Bingo. Bingo.
Discard that.
Losing the Midwest.
Losing the Midwest.
Wait,
and,
so I can't block that, though.
Right, you block when I flip yours to mine.
Okay.
Which if I expect you to block it, I can just keep this. I'm just going to keep this. Great. That's my move. I did that one thing. It bends towards justice. You're here in the Midwest. Right here in Chicago, Illinois.
Right here in the old Chicago.
All right, end of turn. So I'll get VP. Flip over cards if we can, which neither of us spent our cards down here.
So I'm going to get
You'll get 2.
2. You're going to get 2. This is almost over, baby.
And now we're getting real close. We've got 7 left.
I'll take one of those 3s. Put these 1s back.
All right. And no need to draw more cards out. Collect money. You get 3. I get 3 as well.
No cards.
No cards come out because we're both at our org cap.
Okay. We're equal.
I was feeling really in charge, and now I'm really worried about all that VP you have.
We're at
I feel like
equal-
I wasn't paying enough attention to that.
We're at equal.
3, 6, 9. Yeah, if it's tied, Justice breaks gets the choice.
He says I could have blocked that. What you did.
Can you?
He says, but since he says you can block it, yes. But since it was a 1 PW card that flipped, not blocking it makes more sense.
Okay. Okay, so it's any markers, not just. I see.
But
I get that.
the icon makes it look like it's.
Yeah, I thought
but
it was just that.
it's any.
I understand.
Got it. So he also said you cannot go below 1 organizational capacity.
Cool.
Okay, so we're at equal political will.
Justice wins on that tie,
Okay,
and so
it's not fair. It's a bunch of BS. Fake news.
you only have violence in your public opinion card. I will let you go first.
Oh, thanks. I have nothing to do.
Yeah,
Just gonna-
because you can't afford one of these. So
I
I'm not
can't
wor-
afford
I'm
a
not
VP.
worried about you buying that.
I can't afford a VP. I guess, I'm looking to Tom too much. I guess if I get rid of this violence card, that at least gets me a new card.
It would boost your org cap
It boosts my org cap.
because you can't discard violence.
Well, I can play it.
Right. So
I'll
you
lose some
You
shit.
could boost your organizational capacity and flip some of this stuff. It'd be you pick a region and it would flip half. In every region. In every region, you flip some of your markers to your compromise side.
3, right?
Yeah, it's equal to the PW cost.
Which is that.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do it. I'm not going to look to what Tom's saying because I know he's probably weighing in here. I'm going to do it because I don't know what else to do. I can't afford a thing. So I'm going to lose more, but I need to get another card out
Yeah,
here.
it gets your you would get your organizational capacity.
And I would
be
get my
boosted.
organizational
You get 2
capacity
cards then.
back. So, but then you could get a bunch of cards.
I could also get a bunch. Though I don't know the exact the distribution of the deck is laid out. I don't know how many each side has. Okay, Justice has 2 more. Justice has 24 cards. Oppression has 24. So 26 to 24.
Let's do it.
So, okay. So you're playing Violence for
So
3.
I pay 3.
Yep.
Violence goes to the discard.
Sure.
And we flip half of
Does.
my...
I get my 3.
No, we flip 3 in each one.
You flip,
so-
yeah, it is equal to the PW cost, and it is in each region.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
And the card is not discarded, it's removed from the game. Violence is gone.
3 in each region.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeesh.
3. It is the number of markers flipped in each region is equal to the PW cost of the card.
And the rest don't have enough. So that was it. 6 total.
Okay. And are you doing anything else on your turn? Like, you could play your public opinion if you wanted. You could, because you have to lose. Actually, this goes up, right? So.
Yeah. No, not both, right? Just the modified?
No,
they both
because
do.
your base goes
They
up
both do.
and it's currently
But I'm
modified
still
by
modified by
minus
2.
So.
I'm going to save the public opinion, and I can keep the 2
Okay.
this for next turn. So
Okay.
I'm going to save that to block, possibly.
Okay. So I now have enough to buy a VP.
And just hot tip, Tom says that the card types and PW values are on the player guide.
Okay.
The amount of card types.
Yeah. I had seen that 26 and 24, and then it breaks it down even more specifically.
Nice. All right. Let's
Okay.
get a look at this play rate, actually. I haven't
please,
seen
by
it
all means.
all game. I'm going to put it in the shot here so we can all look at it while you decide what you want to do.
I think if I can.
Oh, yeah, it's got all of them.
Yeah, it's
that's
a
pretty
complete
good.
breakdown.
That's pretty good. I only have 1 tariffs law. It sucks. So I can never get. I'm never gonna get it.
Any law is
Oh.
shifted.
I have two of the other law. Do I have any laws?
You do.
It doesn't say though. Okay.
It says on the very bottom of that chart.
It says 1 tariff, 2 of all other. So
Oh, I
so
see.
any is
Yeah,
all other.
I think so.
Got it. Cool. Neat.
So if I play as organization, I would bolster some of my strength, but I would lose some control here. So if I do that, I would lose 3, 6. I would lose 3 of these to you, but I would gain 3, which would be 9 to 9. Not enough. So what I'll do is play. I'm gonna do my reserve action. I'm gonna try to flip some stuff over. Are you gonna counter it?
Yeah, I'm gonna block it.
Okay. So, excuse me. So when you successfully block it, then okay, yeah, you just block it. I think this still gets used, and you
I have to discard.
no, you just flip it face down.
We're at an
So
impasse
I've
there.
spent my
Do I get the 2 still?
no without any PW cost. You do that. That's I guess a good question.
No, because I only get it when you flip it, right? Well, it's for the amount you flip.
You're right.
which-
It is the amount I flip. So I'm flipping 0. So
but you pay it. I just don't get it.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that's right.
Okay. Then I'm going to do that again.
This one I can't block.
Correct. So I'm flipping that. That only gets me 1 because I only have 1 face-up card now. Is the one I used. And I will flip over this.
It says PW is still spent and earned.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and take it then.
So apparently I get the 1 for the one you just did.
Oh, right, because reserve isn't based on a region. It's
And
event
then,
displays.
so I get
based on
3
region.
total.
You get 2 from this, and you get 2 from this.
Oh, I get 4.
You get 4.
Bing bong.
Okay, and then let us go ahead. My last few bucks, because I'm going to lose most of it.
Politics bucks.
Politics bucks. Can't do anti-federalism, but I can organize now. I think that will put me up ahead. If I organize,
P-dub bucks.
yeah. I gotta round down though, so no, that's not gonna help. I'll spend this to just hang out. Violence is clogging this up, but that's okay. I have a plan.
Okay.
So I'm gonna lose 2 of these. Okay, that is the end of my turn, and therefore the end of this round.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and none of this, or one of these got shifted, so this goes up to 2.
I remember we're supposed to do that when that happens.
Yeah, I should have done that right away.
But it doesn't really matter.
Nothing
for
else
this
changes.
Specific time.
And we get victory points. Same as before. 2
and 2. We're only down to three victory
That
points
means this
left.
is the last turn, because unless these change.
Well,
these
I
will all
can't
be-
pass any laws, and you can't pass any laws unless we get some now. I'm gonna get 2 more cards,
Yes, you will.
so that could change. Yeah, that could
Could very well
change.
change. So this is the ultimate turn, the final, most likely.
Possibly. I'm gonna make sure it is because I think I can
I think
win.
you might have more points than me. We'll see. So I'll flip over one of these, that one, and we'll see what happens. As for you, it's an expansion law. How many do you get? 2? That's
2.
Uno dos, my friend.
Expansion law is not bad. I can
and a
use
public
that.
opinion.
Okay. I beat you.
Southern wealth and
Oh, so now we take our income.
Yep. I get a nice cool 3.
3 for me. I beat you, so I get initiative. I get to flip my guy over.
Yes, you do.
I am going. So now I got a new public opinion law. Look at me. I'm back on top, baby. I'm gonna do. So passing the law is pointless because I can't, and you can't pass any laws. So I think the best action for me to do is to just buy a VP.
Right now, I'm 3 points up on you.
You're 3 points on me.
Mm-hmm.
Buy 1 VP. How do we calculate the VP at the end?
Oh, I'm actually 4 up on you, I think. 4 up. It's going to be...
Because my question is, because
Yep.
if I buy 1 and there's 2 left,
Yep.
then when we count the law VP, who gets the last 2?
So, as far as calculating VP at the very end of the game, then the next game turn will be the last. So we'll play 1 more turn. The next game turn is going to be the final one. And the remaining stock gets added in.
So then you take from... Okay, got it.
Right. So these purple
This
ones...
just decides that the game's over.
Correct.
You still get
Once
VP.
we're at 30, yes. You don't lose out on VP.
Got it. Okay, so... yeah, I'm going to buy a VP. Well, I'm going to get those VPs anyway. Like, do I use this to do public
And
opinion?
For what it's worth, also, right now, I don't have the money to buy VP.
So if I do this public opinion,
Mm-hmm.
I can turn some reds into some compromises into oppression.
Yep.
Does that doesn't help? That doesn't help me though.
But, well, it doesn't because it won't get you Senate seats. But what it will do is give me political will. I'm at 4.
And then you
I'm,
can start
I'm
buying.
at 5.
Then you can start buying.
If I get 1, I can buy one of these. And honestly, adding this up right now, it's going to be really tight. I think I'm 4 points up on you at the moment.
I don't know how to calculate. I can't figure this out.
So it is the points at the very end of the game.
Well, the only reason I can't. Yeah. So yeah. How do you calculate? How do you mean you have 4 points over
Sure.
me?
So it is going to be the VP, the green and purple VP markers that we have, plus we will score laws again. So whatever points are out here. And I, as Justice, get 1 VP for every support that I have, which are these.
Every support.
Which are these, yes.
You get how many VP for each one?
1.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
I can't. And I can't.
so
I
if-
can't flip those right now.
You would need to knock them down to compromise and then flip them over to you.
How do you knock them down to compromise?
That there are these laws that can do that, which you have to table a law as well.
I'm just keeping it on anti-power,
that makes sense.
so you can't pass it.
Yeah, or violence. If I use violence, it knocks them down.
But I
Otherwise,
can't. So
it's-
like
it's
really.
laws getting
Yeah.
passed.
So my only move is buy 1.
But if I'm 4 up on you, which if I add it up right, I think it's 20 to 24 just with these, because we're getting equal points here, so that's sort of a wash.
Buy 1.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe I mean doing that violence flipped over some of mine. Maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Because you don't get points for these, only I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, only Justice gets points.
I don't think there's anything else I can do though. So I think I'm just gonna, because if I buy that, then you can buy a VP, which I don't want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna sit on my 3. I'm gonna discard. Maybe I can get a new card next turn.
Because yeah, if when this exhausts this turn, we're going to play 1 full game turn. So you have a turn to sort of try to make.
Yeah, let's
make
just
up
try
this
to get another
point
card.
deficit.
I can discard laws and public opinion.
You can discard whatever you want as long as it's not a violence card.
I'm gonna discard this law, and that's the end of my turn.
Okay.
This is tough. This is
This
hard.
is tough.
I think I'm gonna lose.
I also should have flipped this over at the start of our turn.
I'm done. It's all you. Oh, and I have to discard down to 2.
2, yeah. Yeah,
Political will.
this is VP wise. This is very tight right now.
I don't think I can make it up. I don't think I can make
So
back.
the next turn is guaranteed the final. because this is going to run out from laws.
Yep.
So I need to I need to try to get some points or flip more of these over. You have a public opinion open. I don't have one out here, so I can't get more justice right now. I don't want to do an organization. At 5. I can't buy a VP. I think I am just going to discard a law from here as my action.
Okay.
And then I drop down to 2. And now we go ahead and
End it.
and well, we do one. We have one more turn, so
Well, end the round.
sure.
So-
End the round. Nothing here changed. We get 2 VP each, so you can take those 2. I'll take 2 of these purple. And now we go forward, drawing out some cards. You need 1, and you get. It's my boy Frederick Douglass.
There he is.
You get it in any law.
He's on both sides of that card.
It's double. Look at that. Either all Frederick Douglass.
Yeah, but on that one specifically, he's on both sides. Did they print him on the same spot? Let's see. They print him on the same spot?
No, he's a little
too
up.
high. Should have put him right on the same spot so you could flip.
Exact
You
spot.
could flip it real fast.
Yeah, it's like a different facial expression. Okay. All right. We got our points. So this is the end. This is the end turn.
I got a public opinion card.
You do have a public opinion card. You got a law out of it.
Damn.
That's what you do as your second card.
That sucks.
And I got my boy Frederick
There's
Douglass.
nothing I can do.
Oh,
So
we need money as well. You get 6 actually. So
I
that-
do. I mean, I can buy a VP, I
you
guess.
can,
That's
and
nice.
You have more than me now. I have 5. I once again cannot buy a VP.
Okay. I think the only thing that makes any damn sense is to just buy a VP.
If you
Because I can turn.
knocked fugitive slave laws down with that any law,
But how do I pass it? You're
right.
you're
Yeah, you're
so
right. You're
ahead
right.
in the
Yeah,
house.
never mind.
I mean, if I
Very-
did,
very
I
smart
could
house
maybe
control.
get the house back if I did this and that, but that gives you a bunch of political will, and then I don't even have enough money to play the law for 6. So it's just
because
impossible.
that would be 2.
It'd be 2, that'd be 3. So it's 5, and then I have 3
But
left.
that wouldn't get that many. You need to get a lot of house back. You
Well,
need,
no, remember, for every 1, I also get 1. So
Yeah, so it'd be a shift of 2, right?
this would be 2, and that would be 2. So it'd be 4 turning.
That doesn't shift the house.
It does.
Oh, this one. Sorry, I thought you were pointing at the law.
Oh no, this one does. No,
Oh,
no,
you're right. Playing
you're
from
right.
the event though doesn't. But you'd have to take it in here and then use it from the reserve. But you also don't have the org space to take it into the reserve.
I could discard this.
But that is the same card as that, basically.
Well, no, I'm saying like, I could play this one, take this one, discard that one, and then play that one again, right?
I see.
Is that possible? Maybe. I don't know. I can't. I don't think. I think it still doesn't do it because I think I'd have to do 2 for. I'd have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, you don't discard from your reserve. You discard from here.
Can't discard these cards ever.
It's when they get used to block.
No,
Oh, you're right.
they still don't
Yeah.
go. I don't think you ever can get rid of these, right?
I know you can't get rid of violence. I'd have to see about getting rid of the political ones. Or public. I keep saying political. Public opinion.
Public opinion, yeah. There's nothing I can do.
Oh, yeah, no, you discard them when you persuade the Senate to put compromise into your vote.
But that has to be a speech one.
It
right?
doesn't.
Oh.
You can use it without a speech, but then the other player can use one with a speech to override it, essentially. Yeah, I
I don't know what to do.
you could add. I mean, point-wise, adding it up right now because I can't buy one, so
Well,
I'm basically at my point.
I have
limit right now.
initiative.
You do.
You go first.
Okay.
I'm taking Tom Russell's advice once again. I'm over here. I got a devil in my ear, telling me exactly how to turn this towards me. But I don't think I could win. I think unless you did something monstrously stupid or something right now, I don't know that there's anything I could do.
See, I have a lot of violence cards. Organization is not going to help me.
I would have to flip.
I can public opinion this, which will get you to counter it, though. Because that would get rid of your public opinion card, but it gives you money.
I mean, I think if I did this one and that one, that would be 5. That gives me the house back. Because I can do 2 and 3, right?
So with this one, from the reserve, it is...
I had to do all of them. So I would have to do this one, and then this one again. And then I could get 5 things flipped. That would give me the house back. But then you would have to spend enough money right now to let me also...
So the thing is, this would only let you flip 1 marker. If you played this from the reserve, you flip 1.
Okay.
Because it's equal to the number of public opinion cards in your reserve.
Got it. Well, I could buy that one first.
So if you got that one first...
Then do 2, then
that will let you flip 2,
3.
then that would let you flip a 3rd. So
1.
Right, because it's number face up.
Right, so then I could do 3. That would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
That would give you the house at a cost of 5.
And then I would not
Which
have
would
enough to
give
pass the
me-
law. Well, you're going first.
Yeah, okay, you're making me go first.
So, but you would have to give me enough money to pass the law right now.
Right, which I'm not going to. I'm essentially going to abstain, I think. I will discard... I like having Frederick Douglass hanging around, so I'm going to discard this organization, because I don't see this helping me. It's going to... I mean, I guess actually this can help me, because it can give me more of these, but you can block it. Question is, would you?
No, I mean, of course I would, because you again, I literally can't do anything with these public opinion cards unless you give me enough money to buy also the law.
Sure, but in spending these in any event is going to give you...
Right, you'd have to give me
stuff.
$3.
So
if you gave me 3 public opinions, I could then do some damage.
Which I think I'm just going to give you 1. Because I'm going to play the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass. So it costs me 3. And I can flip 3 markers in up to 2 regions because of my org cap. You get money or you get PW equal to the number of regions I do it in. I'm only going to do it in 1 region. And it's going to be this one.
That gives you a VP?
These will be worth VP for me at the end.
And you get 3 of them flipped?
It is equal to the cost of the card.
Damn,
and you
dude.
get 1 for that.
That card's monstrous. And I only get 1 because
I only did it
region.
in 1 region.
Ugh. I hate this.
Hey, you should be on my side, buddy. You should be on Justice's side.
I agree. I would love to be.
Then we all win.
But I have
we
to. I'm
all
supposed to
win,
win
like-
this game. And that's it. Your turn, huh?
That is all I'm doing. Yeah, just that one thing.
Discard down to.
I'm already at 2.
I don't think there's anything I can do.
Because you have 9.
If I'm going to pass, I'm going to do that one for 3. Then I'm going to do this one for 2. Then I'm going to do that one for 3. That's going to give me 8. And I can't pass that law, which is the only way I'm going to get any points is if I pass the damn law. So let's do it. Let's just buy some VP and end this game.
Okay, so you get 1. There's your single VP.
And there's nothing I can do.
All right, so end of turn. We didn't shift any of these around in terms of numbers, so this stays, right? Because you just bought a VP.
You did. You shifted.
I turned
those.
stuff I already existed over,
So that's the Senate.
this is still not enough because I need to outnumber all of the others, and I'm tying it right now.
Right.
So it stays, and that is going to be it. Let's score laws.
I get 2.
We each get 2.
You shoring that up.
Yeah, that locked it up for me.
That's what did it. You shored up the amount of VP we get for those, and now you're.
And
fine.
now we add up totals. So we have all those there, and these here, plus it's going to be all of my justice support, and that is it. You win ties. Or it does say. I guess we don't have to score laws anyway because it's equal anyhow. The final
whatever.
law score won't change anything.
So it's just these for me.
It would be just those for you.
26.
31.
Damn, you beat me by a lot.
I got this flip. I was ahead of you by a few already, and then I flipped a few more.
Could I have blocked that?
The flip? Yeah, you could have, and you said you were gonna need those.
I should have blocked it,
Yeah.
but you still would. If I block that, you still win.
Because
right?
you're 24, I'm at 31. It'd be -3 for me.
1, 2.
So,
no, I'm not at 24. I'm at 28. Wait, 1, 2. 26. So you would have been. It would have been 26 to 29.
29, 30, 31. And it would have been -3.
29. 26 to 29. So even if I had blocked that,
Yeah.
you still
20, 28.
26.
31 to 28. Because I would have lost 3.
Yeah, it's 31 to 26 right now.
Yeah.
So then it would have been 28.
I still would have won.
28 to 26.
Yep.
You won by 2.
I won by 2.
It's late. That math was very difficult.
Yes.
Okay, well,
Great.
I would say I feel like I lost it pretty quickly. I feel like there's some things that I did in the beginning that I think lost it for me.
Yeah, I think where I ended up having an advantage, or not having an advantage, but swinging things into my favor, was when I kind of kept a slow and steady knocking the house to my side, and then eventually that let me pass a couple of strong laws, namely passing tariffs the first time,
And I should have blocked.
illegally passing tariffs the second time, and then instead passing fugitive slave law.
But
acts.
I should have passed tariffs. I did not realize how bad that was.
It's tough
Because that kills my org. And
locks you down.
So I feel like even though you would have done anti-federalism and you would have started getting some VP, I wouldn't have got so clogged up with my organizational.
Right, because you got so drained on cards by the end where you had 1 or 2 out, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I mean, admittedly, I had this giant draw of 11 cards.
That's also what won it for you. Let's be honest. I mean, that draw was huge.
To be fair, 3 of them were violence.
But also, you
but
you passed 4 laws? 3 laws?
3. Tariffs.
I mean, that's huge.
I passed tariffs,
I passed-
fugitive slaves, and then tariffs again.
I passed 2 laws the whole game. So you got 3 laws out of that poll.
I definitely controlled that, and the tariffs really hurt you. And not only did tariffs allow me to pass these, but it just put a chokehold on you.
It
stopped you from being able to undo that.
So Tom says is a very close score, actually.
That was very close. Yeah.
He says, I think if oppression had been blocking PO actions from justice earlier, so what's that?
That is blocking the political or public.
Yeah, because you were doing them.
I was flipping stuff. If you were,
And you're right. Actually, I think I may have even. We can go to the tape, but I may have had one of these that I could have used.
There was an instance when you did. I also forgot to block a couple of things you were switching, but it would have maybe been stronger for you too. I have a tendency in games, this one included, being a game.
Including this specific game?
To try to think too offensively in a lot of cases. Where, and I mean, I'm maybe not in a spot to criticize myself because I won.
You won.
But, I can either use these to block or I can be using them to try to force you on your back foot. And I was, in this game and others, usually more inclined to put people on their back foot.
So what's your takeaway on the second play for this game?
I enjoy it. I mean, I don't like to review games before I
don't mean review, just how do you feel?
Grasp on them, which obviously we had some stuff that we were slipping on here.
Yeah. If we understood, if we didn't literally have to go to the chat or the book every turn, I think this would have felt a little bit more. So knowing the rules is really going to speed this up and really make it a little more competitive.
Yeah, it was some of the details that we were slipping up on, I think. And the thing that I felt in the first game that I'm certainly taking away in this game is focusing on the lower right corner of the board. This little box here is a big deal.
Yeah.
Because this also decided the first game that I played with Daryl.
I could have won ignoring the House and the Senate.
Well, you need the House and the Senate to pass.
Well, ignoring the Senate. Because if you have enough if you get some public opinions, you can push things through.
It depends. I was hanging on to this Cooper Union speech card.
Yeah.
Because I was worried you were going to... It essentially, for me, was a fail-safe of you trying to force stuff through until I could start taking control of the Senate with actual support for justice.
Right.
It's hard because with justice, blue compromise starts at 28 and I start at 0, which means... Without speeches, you can kind of control this.
Right.
You can take all of my votes effectively. but I spent a lot of time slowly shifting
Right.
the house into my favor and making sure I was getting
Well,
some of these locked down.
I think I didn't know about this React. I think knowing about that, I would have been able to do a lot more.
I think both of us were ignoring React a little bit.
And
a little too much.
I shouldn't have let the house get away from me. I should have blocked tariffs because this sucks. This sucks. Hot tip for anyone playing: do not let Justice take your tariffs. Like, I can only go 1.
Yeah, I got to 3.
You can get up to 3. You ruined
Yeah.
me at 2. Like, I was like completely toast.
Because your org right now is 4.
4, and I was
Pretty
only
good,
at
and you were
2.
sitting at
It was
2.
terrible.
Yeah.
If you had gone to 3, it's like I have
Yeah.
org of 4. Yeah, I don't know.
So
and this was a big bad move. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have put. I don't think I should have put
It
this
was,
in
your,
my.
it was your first game,
No, for
And
sure.
For your first, my second.
I think it's a good way. I think this is a good thing to do later, maybe, if you want to keep. You don't want to lose these things, and you have the room in your org capacity.
Sure.
But I just didn't have the room at the time.
Violence is tricky. Violence is hard because I have 3 violence cards out here right now, which again, I won. It didn't affect me too much.
Right.
Let's say this was the lay of the land.
Right. You wouldn't be
Come in
getting
the
any
middle of the
cards.
game, I'm like, I have all these violence cards.
Yeah, you'd be
I gotta
sitting-
get rid of these things. This sucks.
Gotta start shooting people.
I gotta start shooting people. So then I'm either losing control over my
Right.
my house seats,
Right.
or I am sticking it in my reserve,
Right.
and they're just filling it
Right.
up with garbage.
Well, I thought it was good. I mean, I didn't know much about it, but I like the push and pull of all of it.
Yeah, it's
I personally
very
like
tug of war.
politics, and I do like that it's sort of rooted in. I mean, it's a politics game in the most like very politics way, where you're like literally winning seats to try and shove a law through that you want.
Sure, yeah.
And even like doing it in a way that's like using the public opinion to like bypass the compromise or bypass the Senate. So I do like that. I like the theme in that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, good game. I'm excited to do it again.
Yeah,
Excited to do
well,
it again when we don't have stream issues.
We got to figure out what's going on with the audio. Audio, like we were talking before, audio is always an issue for not just in streaming, but
this
even
specific problem, and this is something you can cut out of your final one, but like this specific problem is something that we've run into again before, where the stream isn't synced, and I just wish I could figure out what that was.
So we got it with a different project we were doing.
Yeah.
We were streaming. We
had
sort
that
of figured
problem,
it out.
and then we didn't. I don't know if we figured it out. We just didn't have the problem anymore.
No, we had figured some settings. We changed some stuff. I
Okay.
remember, but.
And I thought for sure putting
always
the
new
audio
stuff.
into the camera would have done, but
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway,
It's tough to try. Well, Tom, thank you very much
Hey, Tom.
for helping us out here with a lot of these rules and tips. And
oh yeah,
everyone-
Tom, thanks for helping me win. Just kidding. You did your best. I was the one playing poorly. I'm gonna go over here. Ooh.
Oh yeah, you chattered. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in and watching. We will hopefully work out some of these issues and be back. I know we had a couple of things we were talking about streaming in the near future, and if we get all of our issues figured out, we will certainly get back. So yeah, we'll be going dark now.
All right.
Toodaloo.
Bye bye, everybody.